go. What's up, guys? Welcome back. Isn't this fun? What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Don't Be Sour. I'm your host, Max, tuning here with, drum roll, Steve Benedettini, a.k.a. Steve Boppadaboopy, a.k.a. Joe's dad.
I am terrified right now.
Long-awaited episode.
Yeah.
Last week, we did not have a podcast because I screwed up the files.
Mm-hmm. That was a good one, too.
Yeah, but I feel like it pretty much just threw David under the bus.
No, he threw himself under the bus.
Yeah, David wouldn't pick up.
David started the bus, put it in drive, and laid in front of it.
Yeah, it had to do with dog shit, but...
How'd you lose the video?
We got to put this a little closer. How did we lose the video? I deleted the files on accident. Well, I didn't delete the files. I thought I transferred
the files were in the computer.
Yeah. Thought I transferred it. Didn't. Steve, you've been a long-awaited guest here on the pod. Everyone's been asking for you because Joe's been hyping you up that you wanted to come on here. Now, Joe doesn't know, but this is actually going to be the roast of Joe.
Oh, I know. I'm prepared. Sonny, come here. Come on.
Steve, why don't you introduce yourself?
Go around.
Who are you? What do you do?
I thought you did. I'm Joe's dad. That's what everybody knows me as, Joe's dad. Everybody relates to me as Joe's dad.
Yeah.
I introduce myself as Joe's dad.
Why does Joe call you Steve and not Dad?
I think he only does that in front of you guys.
Yeah.
When we're together, it's dad.
I think because he's such like a integral part of our group, like everyone knows him, so I don't have to. Like if it was a stranger, I'd be like my dad said something, but like Christian knows, everyone knows him. So
yeah,
I
but
feel like Steve is a.
We work together.
That's
too,
also
so,
that's a work thing.
You know, saying dad at work.
Yeah.
So
Hold on, Steve, you gotta.
I got to talk to the.
I'm gonna.
You gotta
Should I
louden
raise
up a
his
little bit.
mic?
Maybe.
All right, hold on.
Already having problems. Oh shit! Your mic almost fell.
That's all right.
Talk.
I am.
Yeah, that's better. Just talk louder. From your diaphragm.
Okay.
Speak with your
Conviction,
chest.
Yeah.
With conviction.
Yeah, and power.
All right, Steve. So before we dive into the.
No, wait, hold up. Let me.
You got something?
Yeah, no. I'm saying the Steve thing.
Okay.
With work, I don't want to be that. I don't want to be in a meeting and be like, "Well, Dad said." That's
Daddy.
a weird. Yeah, right. Like then I'm that little dickhead. So
No, that's called
Steve.
That's called what's it called? What's it called, Joe?
Respect.
Starts with an N.
Nepotism.
Nepotism.
Big word.
Yeah.
You know what that is, Steve? I
No.
feel like
Big
What?
word. Big word. No. I didn't do well in school.
older people are supposed to know everything.
They know a lot of things.
Nah, I don't know
Trial
about
and error,
that.
but
Not that.
no.
It means you like me because I'm your son and I get extra good treatment at work. 'cause you're-
Preferential
Yeah.
treatment.
That's
Yeah.
sort of like I have to like you because you're my son.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. It means that I can do whatever.
Y'all are going to quickly learn that Joe and Steve are spitting images of each other.
Pretty much.
Very exciting stuff.
As I get older, I'm morphing.
Turn into a Steve.
Yeah.
We all wish we could turn into a Steve. Steve, why were you open to coming on this online platform where we get, I mean, this will get probably 10 million views. That's a lot of eyes.
You don't get 10 million views. You get, what, 20,000 or something like that. Whatever.
Well, you don't got to downplay
Already
it.
talking shit.
You don't got to downplay it. Why'd you want to come on this episode? Why'd you want to come on?
I set the record straight, maybe. Because I listen to you two pansies all the time. And you come up with such just ridiculous stuff. I mean,
Do you listen to the episodes?
some of them I do.
Yeah, I usually get a phone call late at night.
Yeah,
Like, I watched the episode. Why the fuck did you say this? It's like, all right.
it was more of what's wrong with you guys.
Yeah, look, we're gonna dive into like the culture of like the world and everything, but I know that our generation versus your generation drastically different.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say yeah.
Would you say in a better way or a worse way?
You know, I worked for like a family business. My grandfather had a concrete company, and he would pour concrete and stuff. And my dad worked for him. My dad and uncle worked for him. And being Italian, they take the oldest and they drag you into the business, right? So I'm working with them, and I watched my grandfather way back when telling my dad what a schmuck he is. You know, he's
Yeah.
lazy and everything else. And I watched my dad tell me what a schmuck I am and how lazy I am. And here I am telling him what a schmuck. Well, really, both of you guys are. So really,
Just
it's like
a couple of
generation.
schmucks.
Yeah, it's just generation of generation. So I just wonder if it's just like an old thing. You start looking at things differently.
Hey,
No.
what's your definition? You know, I know that movie Dinner with Schmucks. What's the definition of a schmuck? Like, what is a schmuck?
What is it in Curb? Like Schmohawk? Calls
don't
people schmohawks. Yeah.
Steve, I want to learn. I want to go back into the history of you real quick. I want to hear your like upbringing. What were you like as a kid? Because were you like Joe, mildly good at everything? Says that you're good at everything, but who knows?
No, I worked hard all my life. I did that.
So the opposite of Joe.
Yeah, I wasn't really good at school. I didn't like school, so I just worked.
Same. Also hated school.
Yeah.
Like, were you bad at
But
school?
you're pretty smart though overall.
Hey,
Yeah.
it's a good roast. I like this.
Yeah, it is good. Were you good at school, or were you?
I think bored more than anything else. Just
You play sports? I actually don't know these answers.
no.
I don't think I've ever. No sports?
Had to work. No,
No, but like in high school,
I had to work.
middle school.
Always worked.
You didn't work in middle school.
What do you mean you had to work?
You never
Paper route.
played. That was your sport. You rode a bike and threw papers at doors.
Yeah.
You never played basketball,
No.
football, swam,
No.
racquetball.
No, I was good at diving. They wanted me on the dive team, but
Okay.
I had to work.
What do you mean you had to work? Like, what is that like?
I had a paper route.
That was the.
When I
He was
was a
hustling
kid,
at 4
yeah.
years old, dude.
Did shoveling snow. I mean, whatever you could do to make a buck. Wasn't like now.
Is that because your family said you need to work, or you were just like so like wanted to make money?
A little bit of both, because whatever money you made sort of went to the family though too. We didn't have.
It went to the family.
We didn't have any money really. I mean, we weren't.
You weren't buying like bubble gum and comic books.
I mean, if I look at life like right now, we were broke, but we didn't know any better because we were young. My mom used to make
Spaghetti.
blintzes all the time. You think blintz, a blintz is real thin eggs, sort of like an omelet, but really thin, and would put jelly or peanut butter, whatever we had. She had 5 kids. It wasn't because we all loved blintzes, didn't have any money. But you didn't, He asked me, hey, what was your favorite car growing up? It's like a Corvette was like the best thing I ever saw. It's like, Corvette? But that's the only thing I saw. Not like today's world where you guys are looking at all kinds of stuff. And
Oh, in Detroit, by the way, we got to clear that up.
oh, yeah.
It's from the hood.
What? Did
Yeah.
you know Eminem?
He actually grew up pretty close to me.
God damn.
Yeah. Madonna grew up,
Madonna?
yeah, right there too.
How old's Eminem? 50?
He's like he's in his like 51, 50. Crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so you worked nonstop as a kid, and then did that
It
just
never,
continue?
stopped. It just kept working.
I like to think that I started my first job at 15 years old. First of all, worked at Chick-fil-A, but then
Did you work at Chick-fil-A?
yeah, for like a month.
Nice.
Then I
Didn't
quit.
like it?
No, I wanted to wrestle with. I wanted to roll around on the mat in
Yeah.
spandex.
So what'd you do after Chick-fil-A?
I wrestled, and then I worked at the apothecary. I worked at the pharmacy.
Yeah.
I worked there for like 7 years. But I've been working my knuckles to the bone,
Making sandwiches?
making sandwiches, delivering narcotics. I was a
Yeah.
drug dealer. I mean, legally, I would deliver it to little old sweet ladies and men, like to their house. I would deliver their prescriptions.
I wasn't.
I've been working
legally,
since I was 15.
I was into drugs, but not legally.
What
back
kind of
then.
what kind of jobs did you have growing up? So you delivered like paper route. Are you like literally the kid on the bicycle with like the chucking it at the door?
Yeah, I actually had 2 different paper routes. So it had like the free press would actually deliver papers to you in the morning, like 4 in the morning or something. It was an early paper. And then the Detroit News was one you had to go ride your bike down to several miles to go get the papers, load them up in your bike, and then disperse them.
So back in your day,
Caddy, and used to caddy. I mean,
you're like a bev cart girl.
yeah, something like that.
What else did you paper route, bev cart? When did you get into the concrete business?
Bev cart.
Bev cart.
No, the caddy's the one that carries your clubs.
Yeah.
Oh,
He wasn't fucking
I thought he was
wearing
like.
little hoochie daddy shorts, just giving people lemonades. Like, no.
Sold the shit out of that lemonade.
The things I had to do for that lemonade. Extra tips. So you've always been working, and then you got in the family business at some point? Concrete?
Yeah, I mean, they took me in right away. That was, but I had school, so I couldn't go sometimes when I had school. And when you didn't have school, you went to the concrete business. But
So what did you do for fun? Because you didn't have iPads or anything back then, did you?
no.
No?
We had electricity, though,
Was everything in black and white, or was it in color?
Yeah, first TVs, I remember for the family, we had one TV downstairs, and we'd all gather around at that. And then when color TV, my father, I remember, bought first color TV. That went downstairs, and the black and white went upstairs. It was like a 3-bedroom house. It was 3 boys in 1 bedroom, 2 girls in 1 bedroom. My mom and dad, they were the only ones that had like a window unit for air conditioning. And hot nights and stuff, we used to all work. We all would sleep there with them on the floor and stuff just to stay cool.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, it was a different world.
So, like,
but it was a lot of fun. I mean, we could get away with all kinds of stuff you guys really can't get away with.
Murder.
Everything. You know.
A little bit of everything?
A little bit of everything.
Do you like life better now with all the technology, or do you think life was better without the technology?
Pros and cons. I see a lot of great things that are happening right now, but I think it was a simpler life back then. I think it was easier.
Okay.
I think it was.
Well,
now
I think y'all are more in the moment as a family. Nowadays, it's like everyone's just, even at like family events. I mean, even now, like you go to Taylor's house for Christmas and stuff, everyone at some point, even the parents are, like at some point, everyone's on their phone. Just
yeah.
Well, we have family dinner. I don't really like the phones out for family dinner.
Yeah, but after you'll still be.
Yeah,
I'm just saying
afterwards.
then, like you had to start a conversation. You'd meet more people. You'd have like relatives come in. Now it's just like.
You know what I think now with families, whenever like you're over and like someone's on the phone, that essentially is saying that like I'd rather like look at what other people are doing than interact with the people that I'm like around.
Pretty
Damn,
much.
it's kind of like a diss now
Like
that I
I'm
think
so
about it.
bored. I want to look at other people's stuff.
You guys did that test run where you sort of stopped social media there for a little bit.
Yeah, hated it.
I liked it.
I thought it was a good thing.
I stayed off. I'm at like 3.5 hours a day.
I'm back to 110%.
Did you just hear yourself? 3.5 hours a day.
Yeah.
3.5 hours a day. You're looking at your phone.
What was that?
I don't know.
Oh.
It's that damn technology. Joe's
man,
watch
it
is
just-
making noise.
Just walkie-talkie to me.
3.5 hours a day. How long do you
Yeah,
use?
no, hold up though. My drive to work, because he convinced me to move downtown, I have a 45-minute drive each way, so I put YouTube on the whole way. So an hour and a half of my 3.5 hours is
Let's
YouTube.
back up. I convinced you to move downtown.
Yeah.
How does that work?
I mean, I'm
convinced
enjoying
you.
it, but
I don't know.
I would have stayed in Sugar Land.
You had a house that you weren't taking care of. You wouldn't do
Okay.
anything for.
Here we go.
Yeah, really.
Wait, you wouldn't upkeep the house?
No, I was.
No, you weren't.
It was a shitty house.
It-
Wait, this is the house that your dad gave you.
Sold me,
Sold.
but yes. Yeah.
I mean, you sold to him for a good deal.
yeah.
I don't think so, actually.
I do think so.
It
If
was
you would-
it was brought
you-
to me as a good deal,
You
and then
you could
I
have
ended up
taken,
I sold it for about the same I bought it for. So there's really no
because you didn't
appreciation
do
over
shit
3.
to
No,
it.
no,
No, nothing.
The pool
Beautiful-
pumps went
and-
out like
and-
6 months after I moved in. All the AC
You
units
had
failed.
beautiful landscape in the back. You had. I mean,
He
that thing
said,
looked immaculate.
Hold up.
Freaking freeze. He
said-
doesn't even wrap anything. And everything.
You didn't wrap anything?
No, he didn't wrap nothing.
Joe!
He said
Pipes.
that he replaced the AC units, but he forgot to register the warranty. So then they went out when I was living there, and I didn't have any warranty on these new units. So I had to replace the AC units.
That
I'm
wasn't
saying-
your
I didn't-
problem, the
I did
AC
not
units.
make any money on the house. It was a
Because you let the house go down.
What?
You
That
didn't
was
take
not why
care
I
of
didn't
the
make any-
house.
So
no.
let me get this straight. Steve sold Joe.
If I could show you a before and after pictures.
there was a
when-
freeze and a pandemic.
It's not. You gotta blame everything.
COVID attacked my house.
So you sold your only son, the house that he grew up in. You said,
No, it
son,
wasn't the house I grew up in.
for how many years do you live there?
Like 1, and then I moved in with Christian.
One long family year. You said, son, here's your first house, and then as soon as he got it, he let it go to shit, and then
No,
he sold it.
I didn't let it go
for
to
a
shit.
profit.
There was a crazy freeze that killed all
You
of
really
the
didn't make
vegetation.
a profit because he let it go to shit.
No,
He didn't
no
take
one
care
was
of
like,
it.
"I'm paying you less because of missing vegetation." This
How
was
do you
not-
know? It looked like crap back there.
Because the agent that listed it listed all the photos with the stuff that was still alive,
Yeah,
and it
when
was still
people
the
come
same
out,
price.
They
Yeah.
listed it when I lived there.
I was catfishing people for sure.
Yeah.
The listing was pictures from when he. Yeah.
How long did you live in the house that Joe
Hold up.
sold?
Let me also say
What do you guys call that nowadays when you show a photo of
catfish. Yeah.
Catfish.
He had it listed for a long time, and then the great idea was I would buy it. I think I did him.
How
a favor.
long did you live in the house?
something? I don't actually recall. to be
Like
honest
10
with
years?
No,
you. Maybe
Maybe
7 years.
5 or 6.
Damn, so you had so many good memories in there, and then Joe just came in and just sold it.
It's not how it.
I've seen this happens a
He
lot.
was
to
trying to sell it. Hold up, let me just paint this picture real quick.
So I tell
He
him,
bought-
go into an apartment or something to
Yeah.
see if you. The apartment, the whole
Can I
thing was.
explain myself real quick?
No, not
He
really. The apartment
said-
thing. The apartment thing was to see if you would like maybe
condo.
Condo living. You know, because
condominium.
that way you wouldn't have to do anything. You know,
I kind of miss doing stuff. I
You wouldn't have
enjoyed
to wrap the
weekends.
pumps, which you never did. Or
What do you miss doing? You didn't do anything.
Anyways,
I did see him power wash one time.
this wasn't like
yeah, I've seen that.
I power washed a couple times. This wasn't like a, hey son, here's my house, live in it. It was listed for like 3 months. He bought another house. It wasn't selling. No one was even looking at it. And then I was offered to buy the house from him. And then I lived there for 2 years. There was a freeze. There was a pandemic. Pandemic didn't do anything, but there was a freeze. And then I sold it. And yes, some of the stuff did fall apart.
Where were you living before that?
With him.
But he was kicking you out, wasn't he?
No, we split.
We broke up.
So
The option was to buy a house or live in
So
Max's
during that
guest room.
time I had listed, you sort of found yourself homeless.
I know, but I'm just saying, I just want to make it
And
doesn't.
he brought you in from the
I
streets.
know Max is
And then
painting it
you
as if
sold
like he
his
gave me a
house.
family heirloom and I sold it. That's not how that it was.
Gosh.
family heirloom. But
Okay, anyways.
it doesn't really matter. He just didn't take care of it.
I was
he
young.
He wasn't ready for it.
I'm ready to take care of a house
Yeah,
now.
I think you have grown up quite a bit lately.
Yeah. I'm a man now. See
Don't
this?
go that far, but you're doing better.
I got some pubes on my face.
How do you compare Joe at the age he?
Let's talk about that for a moment.
Okay,
too.
what's up?
With both you guys. I mean,
I'm trying.
that's just it. You're trying. Don't.
Do you think I should?
Shave.
Do you think I should put minoxidil?
Whatever
know
you're
what
gonna
the fuck
do,
that is.
I would do that, but you know.
I could put this little liquid on my face, and then I would look like
Do
you.
you know what my grandfather used to tell me to do?
Shut up and get back to work.
Yeah, some of that though too. but you know, like when I was trying to grow a beard or whatever you want to call it, chicken shit. Put chicken shit on your face. Like, you know, chicken shit. What the hell's wrong with this guy? That's what you tell me.
We eat chicken shit, Max.
Yeah.
I need chicken shit and rub it on my face.
You both need a lot of chicken shit.
I got on that TRT shit and it started filling it out, and then I got off TRT and now it's
Yeah, but Steve, I can't help.
Yeah, and that's it's
know.
good that you're not on it. You guys are going to want to start families eventually. Who knows what the hell that stuff
I'm
does
not.
to you.
I mean, I could tell that you probably think that I'm not natural, but when all this muscle is 100% self-made.
If you say so.
Steve, do you after, because you've known Joe most of his life, right?
Most of his life, yeah.
How do you
got-
compare Joe as a kid versus you as a kid? Similar or different? In terms of his like personality?
I think very similar, but just grew up in different time zones, you know? Just
I think I favored mom as a child.
Oh,
I was more like outdoorsy and I don't know. I was into like the dirt bikes and being out in the forest, and I think now I think my like 15 to 25 I favored your childhood probably more. I don't think you were outside catching snakes and frogs in Detroit.
he was working, Joe.
no.
Yeah, I wasn't working. I was catching frogs in the backyard.
There were no frogs or
Yeah.
Detroit.
How was like was when you? I want to touch one more thing on like kind of like your childhood, like what was like the greatest memory you have as a kid?
I think just growing up in general with friends, hanging out, you know, just we didn't have anything, just had each other just to go out and hang out and do whatever we were doing. But out of the simplest things, we had a good time with it.
You know, it's you know, you can. I mean, I feel like our generation, while we do have all the technology, there was a kind of a period where we didn't have it or as much of it, right?
No.
So something that a lot of people watching who are younger, like Taylor, my beautiful fiance, didn't have experience, but like when we were younger, you had to ride your bike to your friend's house to then knock on their door to see if they were even home. And then if they were home, then you were to ask to like, could they come
ask
out and
permission?
play?
Yeah.
You would actually bellow out their name several times and say, you know, can you come out to play? It's a whole song you had to get your friend to come
Wait,
out.
that's what y'all did?
What's that?
That's what y'all did?
Yeah. I mean, to get somebody's attention, you know.
Hey, you know, now we have like the other side of the lens here. You know, when I would go to a parent's house and they'd say, no, he can't come out and play. As a parent, why would you not? Did someone ever come and try to? Did anyone come to try to hang out with Joe? But if they did you ever say, no, he can't come out? And what was your reasoning?
He was working.
I was working.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think that ever happened. My
You're
mom
like-
would tell me, no, because I didn't do my homework or some shit.
Dang.
I mean, both kids, when they were going, I did work a lot. I missed a lot of their childhood when they were young. And later in life, I really became, I think, more involved with them. both,
Yeah.
So.
Trying to put food on the table.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you're trying to put food on the table. You're chasing something. You want better for them, so you keep going after something. But reality was probably I should have spent more time with them because that's out of everything in life, that's the most precious thing I have.
Yeah, but I feel like it's like a double-edged sword because you're like, okay, I want to. I mean, maybe nowadays where you can do a lot more because of the technology, right? Or you can work from home. Whereas then I feel like you had to go out because I remember like my dad was always out working. He worked a bunch of jobs, night shifts, whatever he could do. So it's like, you know, do I stay home and like spend more time with my kids, but then I don't have the money to give the life that I want, but I got to work, but then I'm not like with the kids. So it's like it's just like you're damned if you do.
I think there's a happy medium, you know, but some of these people are too far left now to it, where they, you know, I'm not gonna do this for that job. Are you ridiculous? I'm not gonna waste my time. You know, my time's so valuable. I'm not gonna do this. I look at everything I've done, and I'm grateful it's sort of paid off because now I have a lot of time to be able to do things I want to do with them. So it's good.
Yeah, true. How was Joe as a kid?
Sort of like he is as an adult, actually.
Just like a little shit.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. No, he was a good kid.
Did he get in a lot of trouble? How did you discipline him?
Belt.
Well, what is the memory do you have of like what's the thing? I want to hear Joe first and then you. Joe, like what is the most trouble you ever got into as a kid? Like what did you do
that I remember?
That you were like, I fucked up? And then see if it's the same one that your dad says.
Well, I don't even know if he knew about this one, but when I was like, I was probably like 8 or 9, we learned like bitch, shit, fuck.
Nice.
And
where did you learn that from?
I don't even remember, like
Eminem.
TV or something. Yeah, probably this. Yeah, Linkin Park. But I just remember we were all like cussing, just to cuss. Didn't make any sense. You would just say shit, you know. And then
man, this pickle is fuck.
One of the kids that was like with us ratted us out to our parents, and our mom put a bar of soap in my mouth, and then he just hit me with the belt a couple times. Yeah, but see, I was a little fucking shithead kid, so I was a kid. It's like I know that nothing's worse than not giving them the satisfaction. So like my mom put soap in my mouth, I'm like, that's good. So I like this soap. Like I was that kid that like I would push the, oh shit, you know what? No, he kicked me out of the house. He threw all my fucking clothes over the fence and told me to not come back. What? And then I did. I was like, okay.
Did you ever come back?
I went to my friend's house. I'm like, you told me to leave. I took all my shit, go to my friend's house. I'm there for like 30 minutes playing Xbox. I hear mom answer the phone, his mom, and it's him. And his mom's like, you need to go home right now. And he was fucking pissed when I got back.
What did you do?
But at the same time, like, you told me not to come back.
That was the one that pissed me off the most. He did something really stupid there.
I don't remember what I did.
I don't remember what
it was.
Either,
it was school related. It was always
off.
grades or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, he threw all my clothes over the fence on like a major road. Yeah, I was standing on the side of the road, and, like my clothes were flying over, and I like grabbed them.
Scared straight tactic, you know, but it didn't work.
Yeah, I just walked. I walked 2 miles with a wagon and all my shit to my friend's house.
Yeah. Just like with a stick and the little.
I was middle school. I was probably like 13 or 12 or something.
So you were out in the streets.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
What's it like raising kids?
Hard. It's
yeah,
hard.
right. I feel like we should ask because we're always on these podcasts. Like if my kid did this,
no,
like,
I know that's
that's
where we're going.
Yeah,
there's levels to this.
Okay, all right.
It's not easy because any adult will tell you that, like, hey, you should do this, this, and this because they've been through these things. But you guys don't want to hear old people tell you this, this, and this.
Not at all.
You want to experience it yourself. That part of it is, I guess, frustrating as a parent because we know what's going to happen if you do this, but you don't. You got to experiment. You got to try it yourself, and we want to prevent you from going through those things. But
I feel like that's always the dating one. I feel like everyone's always like as a kid, I'm sure you can relate. Like that first relationship you're in like middle school and stuff. Like you were dead set. Like we're getting married. I don't need to go to college anymore. I don't want to play sports anymore. I just want to. This is it. And your parents are always like, this probably isn't going to work out. And you're like, you don't understand our love. This is different 14-year-old love right here. Get the fuck away from me. I feel like everyone watching has probably gone through that. Like, yeah, that was one that I remember.
I don't even want to get into your first love, but that was
that's what I'm saying. I think everyone has had that, like, yeah.
Did Joe come home one day and just say, Dada,
I'm in love, Dad.
Dada, I met a girl.
Joe's done all kinds of stupid stuff. I mean, I went to work. I went to work one day, and we were living in the house that he didn't do anything for.
The house that he sold.
The house that he sold.
Wait, no.
I thought you were in that long.
Oh no, we were.
No, that was Riverstone.
Was it Riverstone?
That was by him. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
If it's what I think it is. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Another house he probably didn't appreciate.
Townhome. Yeah, I was in a townhome. Long story about all that, but I was in a townhome. I went to work. Wendy was with me, and she's upstairs. She comes downstairs, and Joe was gone. Went to work or school or I don't know what it was, but he wasn't there. and this girl comes downstairs.
Well, I didn't think this was where this was going. Never mind.
Like this,
Wait,
this-
what age is this?
Yeah, what age was that? You were still pretty young.
18.
You had a girl over?
Yeah, I didn't tell them about it.
How old
though.
was the
Didn't
girl?
even know.
And then I left her. I was like, I'm gonna go to work. Just whenever you get up, don't worry about it.
My roommates might be downstairs, but just
yeah, here's my roommate's house.
So Whitney calls me and says, this girl's walking down the stairs. Who is this girl? I don't know. Is this girlfriend or just somebody you met that night? Whatever. And
she stayed over.
Stayed over, and she's walking down like
Yeah.
no big deal, nothing. Like, and like, get the hell out of the house.
Did you have intercourse in your parents' house?
Oh God, I'm sure he did.
I don't know what that is. Never done that before.
Damn.
I thought you were gonna go down the 4-wheeler story, but that was a different house too.
That was stupid, but
Yeah.
it was
What'd
actually
he do?
funny. I'm
Watched too
I'm
much
at work.
Jackass.
Yeah, I'm trying to work, trying to raise him. It was a lot. He was living with me, and I would get phone calls all the time at work. Hey, your son from neighbors, Well, I get this one phone call, and hey, kids are on 4-wheelers and they're naked running up and down the street on the 4-wheelers. Like, what? The
You were
heck is
naked?
that?
Yeah.
You would ride your 4-wheeler naked?
Yeah, me and my friend thought it'd be funny to put capes on, butt ass naked, and go ride around the 4-wheelers and film it.
I don't know if funny's the word I would use. What?
It is
Hollywood, everyone's gay
it
once in
is-
a while, but-
It is funny, but
We saw
Wait.
Jackass, and we're like, oh, we're gonna.
Wait,
I
you
guess
would,
that's where all that came from. Jackass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
wait, so you and your friend said, oh, Billy, you and I should get butt naked.
Look, at the time, it sounded funny. I don't know. Okay, now this
I mean,
it's
if you
coming
think,
off a little bit
if you think,
different than I
if you
thought it
think,
would.
if you
but
think about it, it is funny.
But see,
He was
here's the
getting
thing.
cones too.
But I got to explain to my neighbors why my son's deranged.
Yeah, as a kid. And how old was he?
It's probably like 12.
22 or something.
Another
actually
thing we
last
did
week.
in hindsight. So if you watch Jackass, there's that party boy scene where he gets in the cone and he like blocks stuff as a cone, like he moves around in the cone. And me and my friends thought it'd be hilarious. So in Riverstone, was all under construction. There's big cones. We would get in those cones and like sit in the middle of the road and thought it was hilarious. Cars would stop.
Why
And
would
in
you do that?
hindsight, yeah, I'm like if I'm in my truck and I see a cone in the middle of the road, I'm gonna run it over just to be like. I'm surprised none of us ever got hit by a car. Like now I think about it, like we would block traffic as a cone, but people didn't know there's a person in there. We would just sit in there and wait for a car to like think there was a cone in the middle of the road.
How do you like regulate like Joe going and doing stuff? Because a lot of times, like back in the day, I didn't have cell phone or anything. I'd just be like, hey mom, I'm going to my friend's house for 7 hours. I'll see you later. You can call the house, but I might not be there. I don't know. Do you ever like nowadays? I feel like it's different, but like when you let Joe just like go do stuff, like. Are you always like as a parent? Are you always stressed about? Hope they don't die.
Yeah, always have a general idea where they are.
Yeah.
They weren't going too far. Nobody had cars or whatever. So I mean, you knew where he was, just didn't know what he was doing.
Okay.
When you were younger.
When I was like 13, I was driving my golf cart to Quiznos on Highway 6. Like, we were miles away from home.
Okay, flash forward a little
That
bit.
is hold up though. That is a good point.
Your golf cart.
Yeah, well, his golf cart, our golf cart, all right. This is
Ours.
Yeah. This is not democracy. Was there more? I think about this now. Was there actually like not as many like pedophiles and shit when we were growing up, or was it just not as documented? Because nowadays, if my kid was like, "I'm going to walk home from my friend's house in the neighborhood," like, no, the fuck, you're not. You're going to get snatched up.
I would ride home at nighttime.
Oh,
And
that's what I'm
yeah.
saying. When we were, but nowadays, like if your daughter was like, "Hey, I'm at my friend's house 2 miles down the street. I'm going to walk home," you'd be like, "What the fuck? No, you're not."
Yeah, true.
Yeah, but I'm saying like, is it just because we know about it more now, or was it
think
always
so.
happening and we just didn't know?
I think we know more about everything now. I mean,
Or is it just more normal now? Like, are there more kidnappings now than there were in
but if
the early
something
2000s?
happens on the other side of the world, we know about it right away.
Yeah.
Didn't know about it before.
Yeah, because like
True.
y'all let me do stuff that I would not let my kid do now.
Like smoke crack.
Yeah, or like, I mean, I think nowadays, like if I had a kid and they're like, "Hey, I'm going to stay at my friend's house from school," I think I want to know like who their parents are, what they do. Like I don't think I'm letting my kid go to like a random house. I've never met the parents or anything.
Yeah. To be honest, I would tell my mom, be like, "Hey, there's like a friend at school. I'm like buddies with at school. I'm gonna stay at his house." And my mom be like, "All right."
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they never met their parents. They don't know where I'm going. Like, what if the dad's a serial killer or something? I guess you wouldn't know that. But.
Do you think that life was more trustworthy back then, or parents
I
more?
was one of 5. I don't think my parents cared. It's like if you're getting out of the house, like they'll think. Thank
As long
God.
as like we at least can save a couple of them, I think then we'll be good.
It's like the sea turtle thing, Just have like 100 of them, and as long as 2 of them make it, we're good.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Watching Clarkson's farm last night, and these pigs, they have 7.
You're watching what?
Clarkson's farm.
Great show.
What is that? Is that like a
Jeremy Clarkson, the guy from Top Gear, big car guy. He
Is that like I Love
started
Lucy or
doing-
like what is that?
No, it's a reality show. He bought
Oh.
a big farm and decided to farm it himself. And he didn't know what the fuck he's doing.
Anyways, he's
funny.
Harvesting. Well, he's doing these pigs, right? And the pigs have like 7 piglets, but like 3 of them make it, and the rest of them die because the pig's rolling over on them and all this stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, the moms kill it and they eat them too.
yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
Sort of like that with the parents. Though, I got 5 kids, so
Eat one
Yeah,
that's why you don't want to have one kid.
yeah, true.
in case they get hit by a cone, being a cone in a
I
middle of the
think-
street.
Exactly. Yeah.
Roll over.
Yeah.
You know, did you know pigs? If you ever wanted to dispose of a body,
know.
pigs, you just put it in a trough.
They don't eat teeth though, so you got to make sure you go pick up the teeth.
They eat bones.
And they don't eat teeth. Apparently, it's
are-
the one thing they won't eat. I know. I'm telling you.
Do you know some pigs?
I saw it on a show one time.
Have you
dude.
tried this and you know they don't eat?
Maybe.
Steve, why were you okay with Joe not going to college?
I did try.
You did.
I pushed pretty hard. I wanted him to go to college.
Did you go to did you
No.
go to college or anyone in your
No, I was lucky to get out of high school, to be honest with you.
Did he do well in school? But you're so smart.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I
yes
hated
and no.
it.
Like if he applied himself, he did really well. But
I got A's in math and science. I would fucking high A, but everything else, nah.
Hey, here's a question before we get into that. So I think I was similar to y'all, where like I just didn't care about school, so I didn't do well.
Yeah.
I would just run my mouth and stuff. When you have a kid, is it the whole like I want them to be better than I was? Like, should I strive for my kid to get A's and B's, or if he's getting C's and everything, I should be like, he's good. He's just like that's the tuning way, you know?
when he was going to school and his sister was going to school, it still seemed like, hey, have good grades. You get good grades, you're going to get a good job, get good opportunities, right? So you want the best for them. And I felt like I was in a position to get them through college, both of them. So I wanted them to go to college. I took them to different colleges and looked around. His sister's, she's super smart as far as book smart, but
Way smarter than him.
book smart.
Hell no,
yeah.
no.
Book smart.
No.
But if you want to sell her a bridge,
Not
you-
book smart at all. Basic
she-
ass math. The concept of fucking time.
Well,
a
that-
time
that-
change.
Yeah, your sister does have.
That's
You wanna
tricky
see-
stuff.
Have you
That's-
seen the videos of Joe Biden where he just fucking freezes?
Yeah.
That's Tori. If you bring up anything about time change, she'll just.
Yeah, but no one understands what that is.
Everyone
How can it
does.
be 6 o'clock here but 5 o'clock somewhere else?
Yeah, but she thinks it's like time travel or something.
Yeah, she'll understand.
And it's like 5 o'clock somewhere. How does that
Tori
work?
asked me at
but-
one point that if you got on a plane and went left, if you would just not age anymore.
But she's book
Because if you
smart. yeah.
keep going, you're technically going.
Maybe she's onto something.
I don't think so, dude.
Maybe she's onto
Yeah,
something.
this is like
Okay,
your AC of the world idea.
So that's a good idea.
That's
so
the worst idea you've ever.
But he was a different kind of smart. He just didn't like school. So he liked the computers. He liked software. He liked a lot of the
No one wants to be stared at. Come here.
a lot of the editing. He liked all that. So I every time he wanted some kind of software or whatever the newest thing was coming out, I made a point to try to get it for him, and he kept experimenting, doing what he's doing now, and just sort of evolved into. I don't even understand it, but like the company I run, it runs off of all of his software nowadays.
were you worried early on that he was like with all the technology that he was going to grow up to be like a nerd, like a
No, he was never a nerd.
Get, like, beat up?
No, he never that way. No, because he's always into
Nice.
dirt bikes and
yeah? How
and
can you
all
be
that.
so good at tech
Yeah,
stuff
'cause
but not be?
typically you're very nerdy if you are.
Yeah.
Fucking nerds.
Did Joe get beat up as a kid?
No, I was like
no.
2 feet taller than everybody else. It worked out great.
Okay. Okay. So Joe, you pushed Joe to go to college, and he said no.
Yeah, the last
He took me to
college-
tour a couple colleges.
Yeah, Boulder. I tried to get because he likes snowboarding, so I said go to Boulder.
Yeah.
Thought that would be in a good place. He didn't want to do that either.
So when he said I don't want to, how did that all work out?
I think as a parent, we can when you're young, we get to steer you exactly where we want you.
Yeah.
But as you get older, we can only start directing you guys a little bit, and you're gonna do what you want.
No, I'm not. I'm going to control my kid as long as possible.
That'll work against you though. I think it will. There are people that are very controlling, and I've got a good friend of mine that his kid, you got to do this, got to do this, got to do this, got to do this, and these kids do it, and they're doing very well for themselves. I mean, incredibly well. But then there's the other side of it. Just sort of let them blossom into whoever they're going to be. I didn't go to college. I did okay.
True.
So it can be done.
So Joe didn't go to college, and he turned out well. And now a big part of what he does is work at your cabinetry business. How did you start? How did you get into owning your own business, specifically woodworking?
Woodworking.
You're like Mel Gibson in The Patriot when he's like making that fucking chair and then he just smashes it on the ground because it's not like perfectly level or something.
Yeah. So from Michigan to here, I was about 17 years old. I just graduated from high school, and college was not an option. Hated school, right? I went to the military to look at that and said, this is not for me.
Right.
And some people said, hey, there's a bunch of stuff going on in Texas, Houston. Just got in my car and came here.
Wait, you just came to Texas
Yeah.
without knowing anyone?
No phones, no money, no nothing. Didn't know anybody.
You just drove to Texas?
Yeah, in a car that didn't even know I was going to make it or whatever.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah, right. But I think the parents were just happy to get you out of the house.
So you said, hey, guys, school is great.
They
Going to Texas.
You know, they said, hey, he's leaving. I think they scrounged up $150, whatever, and you're on your way. $150 back then was...
That's like $1 million.
Yeah, was something like that. But anyways, got into Houston. First job I got was in framing. I needed a job right away, right? So I started doing that for a little bit. And the guy I was working with...
Wait, I'm
framing construction.
Yeah, my hands are lotiony, so I don't... What is framing?
yeah. The frame of the house, building a house.
Okay.
Getting of it.
Just manual labor.
Manual labor, yeah. But I sort of knew a little bit about that and started doing that. The guy I was working for, like about a month later, is like looking at me. He's like, you know, you're doing really good, but something's wrong. Something's off. Something's not working right here. You know, you do drugs. No, sir, I don't do any drugs. I don't touch drugs. Like, you know, you're 17 years old. You look pretty rough.
Was the guy like, do you want some?
Yeah. Right. It's like, you look really rough for a young kid. It's like, nah, everything's cool. It's like, where are you living? You know, down over there. I'm living over there. It's like, where's over there? I really didn't want to say. I was living in my car. I didn't have any money, so I was just living in the car. I used to park at a gas station and use the restroom and all this stuff.
Wait, pause. When people say that, like were you literally like, so all your free time you were just sit in your car? Did you go into like public areas during the day, or like when you weren't working, you were just sitting in your car reading like a comic book because you didn't have
I was young. I'd go out to the clubs or whatever. So
find some bad bitches.
Yeah.
Okay. So he said, "Where's your house?"
Yeah, and long story. He actually took me in, so he allowed me to live with him.
What?
Nothing.
What?
Nothing.
Can't say find bad bitches?
I'm just thinking my mom.
He wasn't with her.
We met her in a club.
Oh.
I think.
Yeah, I had a house then, though. Well, no, I didn't. I was living with my parents then.
All right, keep the story going. Joe keeps interrupting. Shut up, Joe.
Sorry.
That's okay. Usually does.
Yeah, I know. Shut up, Joe.
Anyways, he took me in, got that, and my dad, the concrete business wasn't doing good. Michigan was like, you know, depression. He came out. They started doing trim work. Trim work's more of the interior doors, windows, base, all that kind of stuff. He came in and started doing that in Houston with his brother. I went to work for them. They taught me how to do that. In Houston, you had to build cabinets too and do the stairways, had to do everything.
Wait, so your dad and brother moved? They're like,
they didn't really move. Well, yeah, they did move, but they came out. They left the family there. They thought it was going to be just for a short term. Ended up being forever. But started doing that with them. And I did that for a long time for my dad. And somewhere along the line, I didn't think my future was going to be what I wanted it to be, so I had to pick something. It was either going to be stairways or cabinets, and started the cabinets. Started out.
So why cabinets? Were you like good at creating? Because you started framing.
I think out of all the things I did, I like the cabinets the best. I just like what you could do with it. Stairways.
Open them, close them.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, open them, close. I felt like I could be more creative with the opening and closing the doors and stuff like that. Yeah. So I did that, and it started with because I was doing the trim. We had a lot of people working for us doing trim. Had a lot of customers, and they stayed with me when I started doing the cabinets because I started doing them out of a garage or whatever, basically, and it just kept going, just kept growing, and I just started doing that full time. And then now it's this.
Now it's one of the. I always hype it up as it's one of the largest in the region. It's one of the. It's a.
We're good size. I don't know if we're largest or whatever. I don't think we're the largest, but I always liked the higher end stuff.
You're not like with like little like Pinocchio like in the wood shop like in a 10x10. I mean, it's like how big is the facility?
We've got like about 300 people working for us nowadays, and
yeah, it's on a couple acres of land.
15 acres, yeah.
Yeah, it's no small cabinet shop.
No, yeah, it's large. It's
Benedettini cabinetry, guys.
There you go. You want good cabinets?
Great cabinets. So you got into this. Now, what is the first thing that someone should know? I want to talk about cabinets for a second. How do you know if you have a good cabinet? Everyone at home has cabinets. We assume.
Yeah, but just like you said, door open, doors closes. That's all you really know about it. It's all you really care about it.
What can people
works.
do after they watch this episode or pause it, go to their cabinets, and if they do this, they can be like, oh, I got good cabinets, or they can go, fuck, I got shitty cabinets.
Most of them probably saying, fuck, I got shitty cabinets.
So what would be some shitty cabinet things people don't even realize?
The interior of the box, what it's made out of, is it going to hold up? Yeah, you would think, right? But it's particle board. It's got paper, just a paper laminate over it or whatever. So
Particle board, which is what most things from IKEA, isn't particle board just a bunch of
pressed wood? Yeah,
it's like all the what am I? What's
Like shavings and sawdust.
sawdust like compacted together? That's made in. It's just sawdust.
There's other shit in there too.
They have HDF and MDF, which is highly compressed now, made out of the dust and stuff like that too. So, but particle board it's not as tight as the compressed MDF, HDF stuff.
Okay, so everyone has shitty cabinets.
Pretty much.
What has been the most you've learned over the years of growing this business, like as scaling and getting into entrepreneurship and like growing this business? Like what's the biggest thing you've learned, you think?
I think ignorance is bliss. I think that. Like your business, you started out with really not knowing where you're going, and it sort of just grows into something. You go for that ride, but I've seen bankruptcy a couple of times looking at like people told me, you're not going to make it, you just close it down. And I think because
Who are these people?
Because I'm not a very smart person, I just kept going, put my head down. I knew I work well, I work hard. I just put my head down and kept working and worked my way through it. If I would have looked at the numbers and analyzed the numbers and everything else, this is impossible. We're not going to make it. Just give up.
That's how I feel. That's how I was like, I'm really not that smart. I just keep going at something I like. And then when your verbiage right there of like, because when people ask me a lot of really analytical, specific stuff about number, I'm just like, look, I have this general vision of where I want to take it. I just go. I don't get stressed out about all that.
I've got a lot of good people around me nowadays that aren't me. They do that type of thing. And I'm a carpenter. I was a carpenter, and that's how I would classify my life. I'm a carpenter. Somewhere in life, I learned the business, though. I started learning what you can do with money, and people said, "Hey, if you got money, you can make money." Well, if you're smart about it, they're right. Money does make money, but it's just learning all of that has helped me now to run things differently. It's just the whole understanding everything in the beginning. I don't think anybody should. I think they should just go for the ride.
Yeah. At early on, so Joe works with you now doing all the super nerdy tech stuff and like kind of revolutionizing the business on the tech side, right? RFID.
Basically Steve Jobs for cabinets.
Basically. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Early on, did you like want him to work with you, or like was that your hope, or
no? Did
he want to?
No. I'm shocked that I'm totally shocked that both my kids ended up with me. I didn't see that happening. I never. It was what I did. It was my passion, and I didn't want to force that on them. It's not. If that's not what they want to do, don't do it. Do what you want to do.
Why didn't you like early on like wow, Dad is like makes this stuff all day. Like I want to be like Dad. Like why don't I work? Why aren't you a carpenter?
I was never into woodworking, and I said this in the last podcast that you deleted. So I think
I didn't delete it. I made an accident.
I
made a whoopsies.
If
we would go back though, 15 years, 20 years ago or whatever, that during that time, the automation and everything I had wasn't there. And yeah, he didn't want to work with his hands, do it that way.
Yeah.
What he does now, it actually corresponds with what we do. The technology side of...
It's interesting how it like came full circle to like...
There was, in my shop, there was a bunch of table saws at one time. I mean, table saws, and you cut everything by hand, right? And dado everything. It was all done by hand in very primitive tooling. Well, nowadays it's all done in CNC machinery, and it's fully automated, and everything's sort of moving itself. I know nothing about that stuff. I know that the automation is important. I've always bought into it. But having him with us now is incredible because he knows this is the way these things run and the programming for it and keeps making it better. So now what he does works hand in hand with what I do. And I think what I'm really, really good at, he sucks. And what he's really, really good at, I suck. So
I said in that last podcast, I think a big thing for me was like I wanted to
be my own man.
Yeah. I think a part of me always wants to like. It's stupid to have to say that, but like if your parents own a successful business, you're gonna get the like fucking fucking trust fund, everything else. I think I really wanted to like know that I could go make money doing something else.
And you can.
And I did the software thing, and I made a lot of money doing that for a year and a half, 2 years. And I think once I kind of proved that to myself, I started getting job offers that were 6 figures plus. Then I was more open to like, all right, I like working with him. Honestly, like the best thing ever is I get to go hang out with my dad all day and fucking do what I like to do.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, I don't care. Like now I'm good. God forbid if something happened terrible for whatever reason, I'm okay. I'm not worried about it. So I think now I'm more open to, because now I don't feel like I'm just like, oh, I failed at everything else. So now I just have to, get in line
Like
at the
the
cabinet shop.
fallback plan.
Yeah, I didn't want it to ever be the fallback. I didn't want it to be, Now I'm like, now I don't feel like that at all. Now I'm like,
you definitely don't need me. You're fine without me.
I wouldn't say that, but I'm just, I think
as far
now,
as making a living and taking care of himself, I never worry about him.
so now I think I'm more open to, now I don't feel like it's a fallback. I never wanted it to be a fallback. I never wanted him to think it's a fallback.
So now when people are like, what do you do? You're like, well,
Now I'm like, for a long time I wouldn't say it. Long
I'm
time
a-
I'd be like, oh, I'm in software. I wouldn't
do you
say
say
it.
I'm like a CTO at a highly established
As like a software
cabinetry
developer
shop?
At a cabinet shop.
He would never mention the cabinet shop. He never wanted to bring it up. Just recently I started hearing him saying the cabinet company. He's been working there a long time, but he never really wanted to mention it or talk about it to anybody.
Yeah.
Do you hope that Joe takes over the cabinet shop?
Oof.
I want Joe to do what he wants to do. And we had a conversation not that long ago. He's more involved, and I think it's good for him if this is what he wants to do. I made a decent living doing it. It's like, why not,
Yeah.
And he said, I have no desire to work here without you. I don't mind doing this. I enjoy it.
Yeah, that's a respectable.
But I don't want to be here without you. Well, he's turning.
That's the nicest thing you've probably ever said, Joe.
Yeah, it was. But
I'm a nice guy.
He's turning 30.
Joe turns 30 in a week.
Yeah.
I can't believe that shit.
I know. I can't believe that shit either.
Seems just yesterday. Just the other day, you're wiping his butt.
I'm starting to panic a little bit.
No, I
'cause,
didn't
like,
do that. His mom did that.
I don't really want to understand.
David 2.0 right here, dude.
Oh.
You guys don't get that reference. I'm starting to panic a little bit because I like our age gap. I feel like our age gap is good. Like he goes snowboarding with me. We've done all kinds of shit growing up. Like I don't want to be that super old. Like I don't want a 15-year-old kid when I'm 75,
Yeah.
So now in my head, I'm like, he had me at 31, 32.
32.
I'm already behind schedule.
That's what I'm saying. So like if I want this age gap, I have to have a baby in the next year and a half.
I can tell you how it happens.
No, I know how it happens, but
Okay.
then there's 9 months of baby making stuff.
True.
So I'm like, I'm getting real close to that.
You got to start planting your seed.
I think you need to find the right person and make
Yeah.
sure you're happy with the right person. Then go make the baby.
Yeah.
Some people do that the other way around.
Yeah, you gotta make the baby
do,
first.
and you can't diss that though either. It happens. I get that, but I'd like to see that.
Was Joe a planned child?
No.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think y'all were open to having
You're
another
a happy
kid, but I don't think
mistake,
you
Joe.
thought,
No,
like,
you're a planned child. We wanted
No.
another one.
Tori was an accident.
Well, Tori happened. No, you were both planned. You were both planned.
Right. You have to say that now.
It took a long time, but you guys were planned.
All right, Steve. Now that we've discussed your history and how the dynamic is here, which I'm hoping you guys see a lot of similarities between these two. I want to get some knowledge from someone. How old are you? Actually,
62.
you don't look a day past 61.
Thanks.
'Kay.
Appreciate it.
Now, as you've built up this cabinet, is it calling it a cabinet shop like a disrespect? If someone's like a little candy brand that I have.
I've always called it a shop. I've never
What do you
said
call it?
factory. Cabinet shop.
Yeah, it's always been the cabinet
I
shop.
like factory.
I think I kind of like cabinet shop because then people don't, no one.
It downplays it a little bit.
Yeah, like if you met somebody like, oh, I own like a small candy company or whatever, like I feel like that's more of a flex than being like, I own a multi-million-dollar cabinet empire.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay, with this cabinet shop that you have, you've
Shack.
done very well for yourself, your family, and your employees in the business over the years. What is your greatest financial advice to, like, I guess our generation of, as someone who kind of came from nothing, built up, developed wealth, now you can relatively do as you please, and I'm sure you're like, how do you continue to grow your money, not blow all your money? Investments. What's your thoughts on planning for the future? spending versus saving.
Yeah, talking about retirement or whatever, which I have no plans on retiring.
Yeah.
But
Give us your thoughts on money and
money is tough, right? Money's hard. So if you have no money, that's easy, and you start making some money, you don't know what to do with it. So you start. For me, I just took whatever I made and kept investing back into myself because I believed in myself. Even when a lot of people wouldn't, I believed in myself, so I would just keep investing everything I had into myself, which was the company. 401ks, stock market, all that stuff. I know nothing about it. I've never touched any of it. I don't know anything. To me, if I have to give my money to somebody else and let them invest my money, it scares the shit out of me. But people have done very well with that. I just don't understand it. So
you don't invest in any stocks or anything?
No, just myself. I've always have.
Damn.
So real estate, which I think we were on one of your episodes, we do some of that and do quite well with that. Real estate is something I feel like I can see, I can touch. It's mine. It's not going to go down in value as long as you got the right place. So do that. A good friend of mine told me you have to have a good hub, but from that hub you need spokes. So I just find things that I'm interested in, things that I feel like I'm good at, that I can invest into and make money with.
So you hear everyone talking about like getting into stocks and the market and everything. So I guess what would be your reasoning of like you're doing very well for yourself, and obviously you could make extra money by having this passive income from investing in the market, and the average of 7 to 10% a year.
Yeah, a lot of people work for other people, which there's nothing wrong with. I told both my kids, I think working for somebody is a good thing. Mm-hmm. There's nothing wrong with it, but there's also this road that they say you go down. Like you graduate high school, you go to college, it's like all planned.
That was what I thought my life was.
Yeah, which I think is a joke. I don't think life should be like that. I think you should experiment and do different things. Part of that is investing into different things.
Yeah.
That you're comfortable with, though. You got to be smart about it. You can't just throw money at something, but something that's going to pay you back.
So you're basically like, I don't really care about investing in the market because you're like, I just want investing in myself, my business. I know that works, and like I feel like you could make money by doing a million different things, but you'd rather focus on just the things you know.
Yeah, like right now, I want to do another building. But with the buildings I have, I want to do another part of it for the frameless line in my closets that we're doing. That's a huge investment with machineries and everything else. And I'm 62. I can play it real safe and say, hey, I'm just going to cruise through this. But I enjoy that part of it. I want to keep going.
Yeah.
I think when you stop, like your candy business, if you don't keep innovating it and making it new, doing what you're doing, it becomes boring, right?
That's why we came out with Sour Strips Bites, available now in Target.
There you go.
So how do you think about, not necessarily investing, but I guess I'm sure a lot of people always wonder of like making sure what's your thoughts on like when you want to buy something nice for yourself or like do it versus like, oh, I need to just hoard all my money or I need to save and save and save?
I've never been a hoarder of money.
Yeah.
I just enjoy my life. I've done well, but most of the things I do is for my kids, my wife. That's what I want. I remember when I turned 50, I wanted to do something for myself. I've never done anything crazy and never did anything stupid. I always played it really smart. And I went and bought a Lamborghini. And that was...
At 50?
At 50. For my 50th birthday, I bought myself a Lamborghini.
What kind of Lamborghini?
It was a Gallardo.
Spider.
Yeah.
LP.
Is that the one that I first met you?
Yeah.
That's the one that he drove.
The first time I
everywhere.
met Joe, he drove up in that, and he goes, "This is my Lamborghini."
I don't think that was my verbiage there, but all right.
But that was the first thing I ever bought for myself. I mean, selfishly, just for myself.
How much was that?
$248,000.
What would it be now? If like that model.
Oh, like the new version of that
like,
right now?
Yeah, if it was
kind of the same. I think a Huracan's 280, 290.
Okay, with inflation, that was like a $300,000 car.
At the time, yeah. I mean, currently, yeah, you're three.
So you bought this Lamborghini because you thought you like deserved it or like wanted it, or
just something I've always wanted, and
how long did you
did
have
it?
Not a while.
Did it fill the void of like when you got it? Where you're like, I love it, or
It was.
Never drove it.
Well, you're also a bigger guy.
It was but it was more. I was able to do this, and probably wasn't the smartest thing I did financially because even at that time, I really didn't have the money to do that.
Did you buy it outright?
I did like a lease on it.
Okay.
So I did that because I wanted to make sure I could get out of it. So
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it. It was. I remember driving home crying because it's something I've never done before.
crying going 100 miles an hour down the freeway?
Terrified. But I was really proud of myself that I was able to pull something like this off. But but then, like I said, it wasn't the time for it. wasn't smart. If you're buying a car like that or whatever, you should be able to just go in there and buy it outright. But I wanted something. So,
What do you think about Joe buying all his cars?
the way he does it nowadays, I think he's fine. He's making money with them. He's not losing anything. I think he does fine with it.
Sometimes. Sometimes. Back on the investment thing, though, I was going to say, I don't think, so when they're coming up, I don't think you had people like preaching at you that you're stupid and an idiot for not, like with social media, we're constantly like, all the comments, you'll be like, oh, like I'm looking into doing real estate. And then everyone, you're an idiot. Why don't you invest in this? This is a better idea. Watch my Forex video on that. It's like you're constantly being fed as a younger guy that like you're inferior or stupid if you don't invest in these things because that's what this person does and this guy. I mean, how many times have you said something about your business and then there's random comments that are like, oh, actually, you should be doing this with your money and do. So
Yeah.
I feel like you're doing what you know, but also you were able to kind of figure it out on your own, where like a lot of the youth now is being told by 30 different people on TikTok, like, oh, you want to be famous or you want to be rich, you got to do this and this and this, and you're stupid if you do this. And it's like, I think it's kind of hard to pick out what the real, dudes like fucking Wes Watson, biggest vagina in the world,
The whole
who's
social
out here
media
like,
thing,
buy my course, I'll teach you how to be rich. Like, shut them.
But on social media, they only show you the good stuff. Nobody's showing you the bad stuff.
Yeah, I think that
nobody's showing you, hey, this guy didn't make it, and that guy didn't make it, and she didn't make it. Nobody, some
But
people don't make it.
to be fair, I do think that now it is much harder. I think there is some truth behind that. Like, there's like boomers like driving past in their Ferraris because they bought their first house for $20 and sold it for $2 million.
Yeah.
Like, I do think the opportunity to work your way up in life is a lot worse now than it was, 40 years ago. I think you could actually go work at Walmart and work your way up to a 6-figure job. Nowadays, I don't think it's very common for anybody to like get your foot in the door at a local establishment and turn into a millionaire.
I also think it's a lot harder for you guys. I look at some of your friends, and you guys have done so well for yourselves so early in life. I really didn't start making any money until I was in my 50s. But it was
Really?
Yeah.
And that's a prime example. Like everyone always feels
most
like they're
people.
behind all the time and like thinking they're not making it. But
my 50s, mid 50s, and that's when I started actually making my money. Started getting smart about what I was doing and making money.
I think it's skewed a little bit now, but to put it in perspective, I think Ferrari or Lamborghini, but the average buyer, I think in the early 2000s was 65. So that kind of puts it more, before all the fucking TikTokers were driving Ferraris around, it used to be your average Ferrari owner was 65. That's when they're buying their first Ferrari.
But back then, my dad worked. My mom did not work. 5 kids. We didn't have a whole lot, but he was still able to take care of us on one income. He didn't have 2 jobs or whatever. He just had one job.
Yeah.
He was able to take care of us and do some things here and there or whatever, and we grew up fine, right? Now you need both parents working. And even with both parents working, some of them have that second job on top of it just to make things work nowadays. That's hard on you guys. That's tough.
what do you think about people that think that like the bigger, like that are just chasing money, like hardcore, like they think they need $100 million to like be happy? Like what's your perspective as someone who's lived a lot of life of people who maybe are just thinking they always need like more money versus like I can pay all my bills, I can do the things I want, like I'm good, I have my future set up, versus like thinking you always need more.
I told you earlier, my biggest regret in life, one of my biggest regrets in life, is that I was not around when these guys were small.
Yeah.
I missed a lot, and I'm grateful I was able to make up for it, but we don't have that opportunity. And when that time passes, it passes. I mean, Steve Jobs, when he was getting ready when he was passing, what he had to say, it wasn't about the money.
Yeah.
He had all the money in the world. It wasn't about the money.
I feel that.
I think money makes things easier for us, but they can also make things more difficult for us, too.
What do you feel about the current generation in this all of social media?
I think the whole social media thing's out of control.
What do you mean?
I think that everybody sees something that's not real, and they're chasing something that's not real, and they want something that's not real.
Like validation?
I don't know. I don't know what they're chasing, but it's just not good. People need to live life, whatever it is. It's not on a phone. It's not watching everybody else. I mean, even if I'm growing up, you're always looking on the other side of the track. Hey, I want to do better. I want to do this. But nowadays, it's just thrown in your face. Hey, this guy's doing this. And just like you just said, I'm behind. I'm a little bit behind. I feel like I need to be doing more. I didn't make money until I was in my 50s. I'm fine. I don't regret anything.
Yeah. How do you feel about like the ability for these influencers and stuff to make this crazy money so quickly versus like do you ever get like, I already get mad at people when I like someone blows up on a social media platform 6 months after they started and now they're getting these like $10 million deals. I'm like, fucking.
They do. But what's the longevity of it though too? And I know, don't get me wrong, there's some of these guys that do incredible.
Yeah.
But what's the longevity of it? What's y'all think that what's ever happening right this moment is never going to change?
That's true.
I'm here to tell you it's going to change every single day. It's always going to change. It's constantly going to change. What you think your life is or what it will be, it will not. There will be, the left hook will always come out and get you. Always. It's just part of life.
Even if I plan really well?
Even if you plan really well, and that's something that you don't, I do love you, Max, but you try to plan everything.
No, I don't.
You do. I listen to you. This is the way it's going to happen. This is the way it's going to go. We're going to do this. We're going to do this.
The only thing that
I'm
I
going to
say,
build this home. I'm going to do this and everything. It's like, no, you just go for the ride.
The only thing I say is that this house that we're building is going to be the house that I'm going to die in.
No, you're not.
I am going to.
You're going to live in this house for 50 fucking
Yeah.
years?
Yeah, I'm here to tell you bullshit right now, okay?
Why? Why?
And I, as an investment, I will bet whatever you want on it, okay?
Why would I move?
Why?
It's going to be this.
I don't want to even go into all the stupid reasons why you're going to move, okay? Because it's just heartbreaking. But
Give me a couple.
You're going to be challenged all the time. You will. First, health. Health could do it. I mean, God forbid, right? But health could change the world for you. The candy company stops selling candy for whatever reason. Stop selling candy. What's strategy two? What's the plan B? Do you have the plan B?
Well, to be honest, Steve, I think with my level of income and modern technology, I don't see why there's any reason I can't live to be 110, 120 years old. Heck, the other day they just put a pig heart in someone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, he died, but it's just crazy that they're trying these things.
I think technology will keep changing and keep helping you guys for longevity and stuff, but it's not going to change life itself, though.
Do you ever get triggered when you see, like, when you hear me or Joe talk about some kid that got X amount of money for doing this, like, one stupid thing? You're like, I had to fucking put in 17,000.
Max got paid 40?
I got paid. It was like 15 grand.
15 grand to eat Stouffer's mac and cheese.
No, not the brand.
What?
Oh wait,
I can't say that?
I guess now you
Are
probably
they going to come after you? Bro, they're not watching them. You're going to get like 10 views on this. It'll be all right.
That's stupid money.
Like, it makes me mad.
It is wonderful that you're
Bro,
able to
as
do
someone
that.
that eats Stouffer's mac and cheese once a week, I am pissed. I probably spent $15,000 on Stouffer's mac and cheese.
That was a one-time thing.
Yeah, I was so upset. You told me that. I've been salty about that ever since.
I don't know if they saw ROI on that.
Probably not. I don't even know how they would.
He is
though,
right, though.
you know?
He does put away some serious mac and cheese.
Yeah. I was very upset I didn't get that offer.
Huh.
I'm
Okay.
a spokesperson for. Hey, I want to also point out,
What's up?
I talk a lot of shit to you about
Yes.
the way that you sit when you cross your legs. And my own father.
Steve, this is a comfortable way to sit. Don't you agree?
I don't
think
think it
so.
is.
Why?
No.
It's because you have such a big wiener that
Yeah.
you're like, oh,
Where does it go?
Just throw it over my shoulder or
Where are
something.
you putting it?
He doesn't.
All right. And with that, we're going to call this quits.
Oh man, small wieners. That is
Nice.
just hilarious.
But going back to the, as far as money wise, that amount of money is crazy to get to do something like that, you know. And used to be only movie stars did that. Now social media guys get to do that too, right?
Some of them are nuts.
So it's incredible though, and I think I'm stupid because I wish I was born in this time. It's like some of that money is just insane to be able to make, but that doesn't happen for everybody. That's not the norm.
Yeah, some of the, even like in sports and stuff, some of the numbers are, I mean, like, I think Michael Jordan, I mean, he made a lot of money off the shoes, but like the best basketball player 20 years ago was making $20 million maybe. Now he's just like a baseball player that signed like a $1 billion contract or $900 million contract. It's like, what in the fuck? We have like Kylie Jenner that signed $100 million. I think one ad was $100 million or something like that.
Stupid.
Where it's like, what in the fuck?
There's a word, billionaires. I mean, when I was a kid, I remember one of my friend's father saying, Most people don't even make $1 million in their lifetime. And that was maybe early 70s, okay? Don't make $1 million in their entire lifetime, don't even make $1 million. Now, and I don't want to belittle this, I don't want to sound snooty, but $1 million just is not what it used to be, or anywhere near what it used to be. And it's just crazy how inflation and everything changes. We're all still stuck in the same spot. Somebody's saying, hey, you know, I need a raise, I need to make $30 an hour. Well, the $30 an hour, these people are making that much money at McDonald's or whatever. Well, now your burger goes up. Everything just keeps going up. It's all in perspective, right? I don't think anybody's actually making any more money.
Yeah.
I wish they would sort of kept it on the lower numbers and made it work that way.
What you said about the $1 million, I remember, so I used to work at this pharmacy for like 7 years, from like 15 to 22 or 23. And so I got really close with like everyone that worked there and the owners who, you know, run this little pharmacy. And I remember talking to Everett, the one of the owners, him and his wife, and I was kind of like, hey, when are you going to retire? Like, when do you want to, like, when would you retire? And he's like, well, when I have enough money. He has 2 or 3 kids and this business, and he's like, when I have enough money. I was like, what if you made and this is, I mean, what, 2000, a long time ago. I was like, what if you had made $1 million? Because I was like, $1 million. Even back then, he goes, nah, $1 million wouldn't be enough money. And I was like, you're crazy. You're crazy. He had the vision even back then of like, where I was like, $1 million. Now, if someone's like, for $1 million, could you never work again? I think everyone would be like, no, I'd have to work.
We were talking about this not that long ago, but like I've decided to stay in the apartment in the saga of where the hell's Joe going to live. But I was looking at houses, and don't get me wrong, very nice houses, but like suburbia, not crazy, you know, 3,500 square foot, nicely built house. They're $800,000 fucking dollars. You're almost $1 million for like, when I was little, $1 million was a gated fucking 8,000 square foot house with a circle drive. Now it's like $850 gets you into like suburbia where all the houses look the same, and it's not. I mean, it's nice, but it's not $1 million in my mind, at least.
And that's Houston. I do some investments in Denver, and the houses over there, they're insane. I don't know how people even afford homes over there. There's $600,000 more. If our house is $500,000, it's $1.1 million over there. It's just crazy. And you see these young people that are moving into these houses, and it's like, where are they getting this money from?
And a 7% fucking.
They're getting it from mac
mortgage.
and cheese,
Which is normal. I hate to say it, but 7% is not bad. I mean, you guys.
Well, because
there was a time it was 14, 15, 16%.
Yeah, but it wasn't
higher.
that on like
and there was a housing boom. It was late 70s, early 80s. There was a housing boom going on in Houston with interest rates at 16, 17%.
Yeah, because the cost of the house was $8.
$8 and a pack of crackers.
Yeah, like 14% is not bad on $50,000.
Do you think our kids are going to go, well, yeah, Dad, well, back then the houses were only $2 million.
Yeah, probably.
Of course.
Yeah.
And look at your technology. And when your kids are born and when they're his age, they're going to look at you like you're an idiot because you aren't going to stand.
They better not.
Well, dude, look at fucking phones. So the Motorola Razr was $20, I think. It was like $19.99 or like $49.99 or whatever. And then the first iPhone, I think, was $199. Bro, an iPhone 15 Pro Max is $1,500 phone. Like everything is, and I mean part of that's because the technology's gotten a lot better too. But I'm just like, phones went from $100 to $1,500 in 15 years.
No, technology. These fucking kids, bro. Because like when we have kids. We asked our Taylor's niece and nephew, this like viral thing online. We ask kids nowadays, you say, hey, like using like your hands and sign language, like how would you like text someone? Where you and I would probably be like, oh, I just like I go like this. They were like they had one hand and they were like going like this. And it was like how would you call someone? Where we would be like, when I call someone, they go
like hold the brick.
Yeah, like holding the brick. You think technology is a good thing or a bad thing for the world?
I think overall it's good.
What about AI?
No, what about for kids though? Like when you're at a restaurant and you see the parents, like there's 2 little kids with fucking iPads shoved in their faces with their headphones on, and it's like
I want to hit somebody because I think that should be regulated by the parents. I mean,
I think the parents use it as a babysitter. It's like shut the fuck up, we're having a good dinner.
I want to enjoy my dinner, so do this.
Yeah.
Right?
To be honest, when I was a kid, I went to Pennsylvania for like some of my cousins one time, and this was big when I was into Game Boy. I had my big ass Game Boy. All I wanted to do was play Pokemon. Don't talk to me. I want to play Pokemon. I remember we went to dinner one time, and the first time I'm meeting these, what do you call the family. I don't know. The cousins' parents. What are they?
Your uncles, aunts.
I guess, but I don't really know.
You
We
guess?
met
That's your
them
aunt and your
like
uncle.
twice in my whole life.
Still your aunt and your uncle, but all right.
So they were there, and I was like going to the restaurant, and they were like, "Oh, like just leave your." You're like, "Oh, you can just like leave the Game Boy in the car," and I said, "Well, no, I'm gonna bring it in," and they're like, "Nah, you don't need to bring it in. Like just like spend time with us." I goes, "I'm gonna order my food and I'm gonna sit there. Like why can't I just play my Game Boy?" I took the fucking Game Boy in, played Game Boy.
Your parents should
I
take
was
it away
like
from you.
iPad kid back then.
I have 2 cousins. My cousin Brian and Chris, they were on. They always had the things in front of them.
Yeah, the niece and nephew are they're on.
See,
they're
I
on
personally,
iPads.
I don't think I'm cool with that. I don't think I'd ever want my toddler on his. But I say that now. But if I'm in a restaurant and the kids won't shut the fuck up, like maybe I'd change my tune.
But do you think that's parenting issue if your kids won't shut the fuck up?
I think so.
I think it is.
But I think the problem too is like if I wouldn't shut up at dinner, like he'd walk me outside and smack me, and then I'd shut up. Like if you did that now, like cops are coming, CPS is showing up at your fucking door.
Steve,
like
if I walked you outside and smacked you right now, you'd beat the shit out of me, so I can't do that no more.
it's all the TRT flowing through the veins.
what do you think the best advice is for raising kids to not turn out to be pieces of shit?
I don't know. I really don't. You do the best you can with what you got.
Because you were just like figuring it out.
It's like work. You just keep going.
See, we've talked
keep
about
moving.
this before. I always thought as a child, you knew exactly. I'm like, you're a parent. You know everything.
Yeah.
And now in hindsight, I'm like, I'll be turning 30. I don't know what the fuck's going on. And I think I've started realizing like you and mom didn't know what the fuck was going on either. Like you're just going through the motions trying to figure it out.
I'm 62 and I still don't know what the fuck's going
Yeah,
on.
that revelation to me is crazy. Because as a kid, like your teachers know everything. Your parents know everything. They really don't know shit.
Yeah.
I remember my daughter, she got sick. And it's like, you panic. It's something silly, but you run her to the emergency. You run to the hospital immediately because you don't know. You're just scared. There's no, I'm sure there are a bunch of books, but books aren't going to teach reality that how to handle a kid. It's a lot of work.
As a second child, I'd be sick. They'd be like, Joe, shut up and go to your room.
It got easier because you knew, hey,
Yeah.
most likely he'll be fine.
Just don't worry about them.
All right, Steve. I want to get your take on a couple of things.
Move.
What?
Political geoclimate.
Well, we'll get to that.
No, that's not good.
What do you think about OnlyFans?
I don't think he knows what that is.
I don't even know what that is.
Okay, I try to explain this to my mom. So there's a website like Instagram that it's mainly probably girls, I would say.
Yeah.
But guys, anyone can go on it. You can go on it if you want. Probably wouldn't recommend it, but I'd say 90+% of people that use this app or it's a website, whatever. It's an app. No, it's not. It's a website. A lot of girls, guys, whatever couples are making a lot of money by making sexual content. Could be photos, could be chatting sexually with. It could be I could make one, and anyone you know could log on and like pay me money, and I could chat dirty to them. I could show them sexy time stuff. Basically,
Show
I'm
your
making
butthole.
money.
Nobody's going to pay you, though.
I know.
You'd
True.
be surprised.
It's essentially accepted pornographic content that people are making a lot of money on. And I guess when people are saying like, oh, this content, once it's out there, is out there for the world to see, and maybe your kids in the future are not going to want to see this. But a lot of people are like, oh, I'm making so much money. What are your thoughts about people who are like doing this and not caring about the future? Do you think that maybe they'll be like, oh, I wish I shouldn't have done that? Or do you think times are changing? And
I definitely think times are changing, but I also think it's something you have to live with, though, too.
yeah.
I'm not. I think it's part of your technology world that's come into play. I mean, it is different than when I grew up Playboy and Hustler magazines, okay?
Oh,
we
yeah.
We used to look at that
Pages a
all the
little
time,
sticky.
right?
Ooh.
Yeah.
A little one of these. Oh, centerfold, baby.
Yeah. Pages would not even come apart anymore.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
Elmer's glue.
Yeah.
Little Cinemax, you're like, oh, it's on a little fuzzy. Oh, I think that was a
But
boob.
I think it's part of that. It's like
Black and white
the
boobs.
evolution of that, though, isn't it? I mean, it's just
Yeah.
It's just
No, well, okay.
it is in your world. The technology that you guys have, that's what it's coming down to.
Look, now that I'm an old man, now
Joe,
that
break
I'm
it down
now that
for
I'm a
him.
boomer,
I should have had you
You got
explain
one
what
more,
it is.
one more week. before
the
you're
line keeps fucking moving. The bar
does.
keeps fucking moving, and
But
I
everything.
think it's getting to the point now where like because OnlyFans is only okay now because now everyone's a little bit more okay with the idea of like prostitution and stuff. You're actually people get upset at that word. I think if you call someone a prostitute, it's a sex worker. Don't call them prostitute. They're working for money. We keep moving the fucking bar on what you can and can't say and what you can and can't be okay with. And I think that's now why OnlyFans is so like popular, because like it's sex work. You're doing a heroic deed according to half the fucking politicians now.
Right.
I think that bar just keeps moving down. And now it's almost like we can't be critical. If I say, oh, like some girl's a slut because she's on OnlyFans, well, now I'm evil for saying that? Like, no, that's pretty widely accepted, I would say.
I don't believe everybody can be a winner either. I think life has to have losers and winners, and the losers want to be better. That's how you get better. I mean,
I think the moral dilemma is what I'm worried about, right? I think it's these girls are looking at like, yeah, will my 8-year-old child at some point be teased because his mom's asshole's on the internet? Probably. But I made $300,000, so who cares? I think the idea is like...
That is a good point.
Yes, drug dealers made $300,000 too. You know, it's like I think there's no like moral high ground anymore of like, oh, I'm rich, but I did it in a shady way. I think now people don't look at OnlyFans that way. It's a legitimate job. If I had $1 million, who cares? I think they will care. I think all girls on OnlyFans and even the guys at some point are going to look back and be like, I shouldn't have fucking done that. But the money, I think, makes it a little bit hazy.
Do you think
if the money runs out and they end up broke...
Oh, it will. They all are.
They end up broke. They spent all that money, and then they're going to be...
Do you think there's... Do you like the concept of, like, putting in a lot of time and effort and work and making money from the work you put in, or quick, fast cash that maybe isn't something that you're, like, super proud of? Or... This isn't about OF, but it's like, it could be, like, just...
If I made my money when I was really young, and then I didn't make any money when I was older, I don't know if I'd have any money. So... The process of being broke and working my way up to where I did make some money later in life, at least now I feel like I got enough money to get me through the rest of my life, which is a nice feeling. I would rather play that game than to have a bunch of money when I was young and then no money when I'm older. And I know people like that, though, too, that had basketball players, football players, like had ungodly amount of money and then go broke, right?
Wow, I still don't get how people spend that much money.
They have everything because they think it's not going to end. They think life is going to stay
and
just the way it is.
It didn't come over a period of time. It just was like, you're really good at this one thing, or you did one thing, here's a bunch of money.
I mean, that's, we talked about this, I think, last podcast too, but it's like how many influencers had a couple good videos, had a couple good sales months with their affiliate programs with companies, and went and bought a fucking Urus and an $8,000 a month apartment. And now the views aren't coming in anymore. Now all of a sudden the Urus has maybe disappeared.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are like, oh, I made $400,000 last month. I'm going to go buy a car. I'm going to buy a house. I'm going to do this. I'm buying a Rolex.
How many of those guys and girls have enough in them to say, hey, I'm going to make this work. I'm going to find another way to do this, to do it again.
Yeah.
A lot of them, that's it. They got their chance and it's over, and they may never get that chance again.
Well, then in the social media side of it too, it's almost like a fucking boulder rolling downhill, because you can't, once you make that video of I bought my Urus, it's real hard to make a video of like I'm going broke and I sold my Urus. No one wants to watch your fucking
that
channel
might get
as
more
it's going
views,
down.
honestly, than buying the
Maybe
Urus.
That's reality.
But I think a lot of influencers are in this impression that you have to keep one-upping yourself. You got to keep going up, and I think it makes it really hard to ever look at it and be like, maybe I should scale back a little bit. Because I think as a social media influencer, you can't. If your whole brand is I'm successful, I'm doing this and this and this. If you're not anymore, you have to fake it till you make it again, I guess, right? Because you can't. I mean, if you made a video tomorrow and like Sour Strips is gone, I'm not building the house anymore, and I can't afford. Actually, probably would get more views.
That would do a really good video.
But over time, it wouldn't, right? Like no one wants to.
Yeah, see the downfall.
Or at least you personally, like you mentally don't want to fucking make that video. That's embarrassing. You know?
Don't.
Exactly. That's where I'm like,
Steve, what? How do you think? Do you know who Andrew Tate is?
Andrew Tate?
Andrew Tate?
no.
No. Joe, describe alpha males and Andrew Tate and see what your thoughts are on this.
Like the whole red pill thing. The idea that, dude, can y'all calm down? The whole idea that, you need to be a man. Parts of it I agree with, but the idea is you need to be a man, you need to take care of your family and everything else. But at the same time, like, you potentially might need multiple partners. Woman shouldn't speak up to you. She should be in her own place and take care of the house and not work, not do anything. I think some of it goes a little too far. Some of it's a little too, like, they believe that you should never get married. You should have maybe 3 or 4 girlfriends, and they should all be okay with that.
Sounds good.
It's some of it I agree with, some of it not so much. But I mean, yeah, he got famous for just saying these outlandish things, very anti-gay. I mean, I don't even know what else to. Just very anti anything.
What are your dogs doing?
It's my dogs. That's your dog.
Dude's just standing there being attacked.
Son is bored.
I don't care what anybody does.
It's aggressive breed.
Or who likes who wants who. I really don't. I just don't want it thrown in my face.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm married. I love being married. I'm married to my wife. which is a woman. I enjoy that. But I don't play kissy, this, that, and everything out in public and just, do your thing, but don't put it in my face.
What's your advice on as someone who's getting married soon? Do you have any advice for me?
Don't
Actually,
do it. No.
See?
Oh my
See?
God.
I told you.
No. Not
Wait. First, before we go into that, what do you think? What do you think of Taylor?
Well,
You're
he
Taylor?
can't fucking answer that on air.
Yeah, he can.
No, he can't.
Yeah, he can.
He has to say he really likes her.
He should.
I actually do really like her.
He has to say that.
I have to, but I actually do really like her.
I like her too.
Yeah, no, she's a good girl.
So what advice do you have for me as someone who's about to get married? As my first, we're going to be the honeymoon phase. We're going to
Enjoy life, but you know what? Communicate. No matter how big the argument's going to be, communicate. Always. People say you should always kiss before you go to sleep and everything. Yeah, maybe so.
I do that.
I think more importantly is to communicate. Whatever it is, get it out of your system, talk about it, and I think that will make you guys okay.
How do you deal with disagreements or arguments? Maybe your partner's doing something that either is, I don't know if annoying is the word, but like they're doing something that you don't disagree with. Like, do you speak your mind immediately? Do you pick your
awful.
battles?
Like my wife, when she would tell you, I am not a great communicator. She'll have an idea in her head. I have an idea, and I cannot get across my idea to her. I can't get her to understand it because she's so wound up about what she's going through at that moment, and I'm not willing to listen to it because I don't believe it's right. And I'm impatient, so it's like, screw it. I just shut up. I don't say anything. And I wait like 2 or 3 days before I start talking again. And then say, okay, now that you're calm, let's talk about this. Which is wrong, but sometimes I don't know how to communicate or how to get my point across. It could be a little bit of school. I think if I was a little bit smarter, I'd find a better way to explain myself or to communicate. But I just wait till things are very calm to do that. And I think that's the wrong way to do it. You need to go through those arguments. People say, hey, we don't argue. There's something wrong with them, okay? I mean, everybody looks at that pretty picture in the house with all the family and the kids, and everybody's smiling. It's just a moment. Reality is hard. It's tough. It's always something coming at you.
What do you think the toughest thing about being married is?
Being with somebody all the time.
Well, I mean, they always say
you're not getting any breaks anymore. You're coming home to that same person no matter what. If you're mad, I mean, if you're mad at your girlfriend, hey, you know what? I want a break. I can take a break, right? Well, you're mad at your wife. You're coming home. You want to go home. You gotta have to deal with it.
Yeah,
and that's hard sometimes to be able to deal with all that stuff.
I think it's why it's so important to pick the right person, right?
It is, but even with the right person, you're gonna have differences.
But I always feel so. Taylor and I get along really, really well. We probably get mildly frustrated at people or at each other, but we've never had a yelling moment with each other. We never like cursed at each other. We've never like gotten heated and had an actual like back-to-back argument that has lasted. It really has never gotten to that. And I'm always like, okay, when we get married, and everyone says like marriage is difficult to keep the marriage happy. It's not always going to be. It's difficult being married, right? But I'm always like what would change if everything's going so well? Like, yeah, you have kids, but like I'm sure there'll be some.
Let's just start with that. Okay, so you're dating. It's just you and her. That's all it is right now. It's just you and her, and you're having fun, and there's not really the responsibility and liability of life itself. It's just sort of enjoying this moment, which is great. And you get to know each other. You move in together, and sort of keep working through. And even when you move in together, you start learning things about each other that you may not like, or how to work with this, and to keep things going. But then you get married. And there's no getting out of this anymore. You guys, this world says yes, but there should be no getting out of it. You should try to figure out how to make that work. And I didn't. It's like, sorry. But in the meantime, it's just these stages build up, and you have kids. And as you have the kids, you start forgetting about your partner, and you start focusing on your kid.
People say that a lot about.
You're working, you're doing this, and the kid brings joy, so you do that, and it's just a distraction. And life keeps going on, and before you know it, you're looking at your wife, and I don't even know who this person is. And you say, that can never happen. It happens every day, though. It does.
So how do you not let the kids? Because I've heard this that
I think
make time for the relationship.
I think being with the right woman makes all the difference in the world. I do, because the right woman's not going to allow you to forget about her.
Because she'll go, Steve!
Yeah. Or
Steve!
Max. Yeah.
Okay. This is a good advice. This is a good advice stuff.
It's words of wisdom.
I know. Steve, what are your thoughts on Biden and Trump?
Oof.
Because Joe is very heavy Biden supporter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love me some Joe.
Are you a political guy?
I say
Don't hold back.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't think I'm a Republican or Democrat. I want what's best for the country, and at the moment, I don't think we have the right choice at the moment. Biden, he's not going anywhere, and Trump scares me to some extent.
Because he's so tan?
Look, we're talking about the entire United States. The entire United States. And this is the best that we can come up with? That doesn't sound right to me. I think we can do better. I think there's something better out there for us. No matter what it is, if Biden wins, we're screwed for another 4 years. If Trump wins, we're screwed for another 4 years. Nobody's going to win here. We used to be a country where, okay, the Democrat side won. Well, the Republicans would somewhat work with them. I felt like they would somewhat work with them. Maybe I was young and naive. Maybe they weren't, but I thought that they were. Now it's whatever side wins is shoving it down the other guy's throat, and it's like they don't even work together. There was a movie called Civil War. That movie scares the shit out of me because we are a country that's supposed to be together, but I feel like we're very divided.
Yeah.
Half the country's this way, half the country's that way, and I think the politicians are just adding fuel to the fire. It scares me. And I know nothing about politics. It's just looking at it from my point of view, it just scares me.
This might be a tough question, but what?
And the amount of money, the taxes, the amount of money that is just pissed away is insane.
Yeah.
If the government was a business, it would be out of business. It would be bankrupt a long time ago. It just keeps sucking money from something that we just keep giving it.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's right either. And we have enough money to take care of everything. We do. But we spend it on anything but the everything, right?
Yeah.
I was on vacation one time and I was watching this protest, and it was for immigrants coming through or whatever, and they needed help, and this is what they're doing. It's like, okay, they're doing that. But at the same breath, though, on the curb were some veterans, and they had their thing out for help. And these protesters were walking by the veterans, screw you guys. It's like, well, wait a minute. I mean, shouldn't we all help each other? I mean, I don't want to. It should be all one wonderful world, but it's not.
You would think it'd be a lot easier if everyone was just like.
I see people in the street because I live in Houston now. I made her live in Houston, but I see.
That's because he sold the house, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that he didn't take care of it too. Yeah.
I ended up in the streets of Houston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
But you see homeless people all the time, and that's not right. It's not. And I don't know. I think we could do a better job.
What president during your life do you think? I don't know if has had the most impact, or it was the most memorable period that you experienced. I don't want to say who's the best president, but what president were you I remember that point of life of the things that he did the most.
I like Reagan a lot, and I liked George Bush.
Which one?
I like both of them, but the younger one, George Bush too.
Now watch me hit this. What is
Now
it?
watch me hit this drive. We'll wipe all terrorists off the face of the world. Now watch me hit this drive.
I think they were a little bit more normal people, and just looked at things.
Bush had no clue what the fuck was going on.
Yeah, but sometimes I think that's good though.
Yeah, I mean, Biden has no clue what the fuck's going on either. So
You think more they're just characters, or?
yeah, a little bit. I don't think any president in the last 10 have actually done anything.
And not anything for age, but Biden, when you do look at him, he's not there. I mean, you know that. I love my father, but I'm not going to take advice from my father for my business. There's no way. And
Yeah.
I don't think Biden should be giving us or running the country at this point. He shouldn't. And he's not. We all know that. We all say whatever we want, but he's not running the country.
Hey, we got a debate 7 days.
We're excited. We're gonna
I'm
film.
stoked.
We're gonna film a Potter right the day after.
Are we?
We're gonna try.
Oh, because we're doing a watch party.
That'd be on your birthday.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
do
the
a
birthday
Can we
pod.
do a birthday pod?
I'm down.
A birthday political Joe pod. So with the current state of the economy and everything, everyone's talking about inflation and AI taking all the jobs and the robots taking the jobs and minimum wage going up, and everyone's rightfully so, I guess, struggling with paying bills, everything's going up. What would you tell like the generation that's stressed about the economy? Like how do you tell someone to just work harder?
I can't even find employees. It's so hard to find employees right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so you say, hey, there's job shortages, whatever. I have jobs. You can't find people that want to work. First of all, the biggest thing is just to show up. Nobody wants to show up, and if they do show up, they want $100,000. It's like, you got to start someplace, right? But everyone wants to start right at the top, or what they think's the top, or close to the top, and it doesn't work that way. But somebody has to build all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
To this day, maybe it can be programmed by AI, can do this, but plumbers and electricians and even in my world, cabinet guys, somebody still has to work. We work by hand. Even though I have a lot of automation, there's still over 200 people in the factory just working with their hands. It's that somebody has to build all this stuff still. I think we get worried about things that we don't have to worry about.
Yeah.
I think.
It's tough times out here.
It's different times.
Yeah. As we're getting towards the end of this episode, first I want to say thanks so much for spreading your words of wisdom. I want to switch a little bit. Joe.
Yep.
What are some of the greatest memories you have with your dad? What are some things that stand out?
I mean, a lot, but I think in general, just hanging out, snowboarding. We snowboard a lot. Just ride dirt bikes together all the time. I think stuff like that. I like action sports, so I think doing that with him was probably the most fun I ever had.
Were you into those, or he wanted to and you just did them with him?
I think he just kind of did it because I
just wanted to do it. Yeah. I don't think I'm not really good at any of that stuff, but I just like doing it because he likes doing it. I like being with him. I enjoy snowboarding. I enjoy riding my dirt bike, but as he'll tell you, I fall off all the time and roll out into the woods.
Yeah.
Whatever, but I have a good time doing it.
Yeah, I'd say that was, I think all the action sports stuff.
I think being, like you guys were talking about earlier, being young enough to do those things, so it's nice to be able to do that with your kids. It really is.
I'll say something. This probably, I'll switch it up on myself. I'm going to be super nice to you guys. Mm-hmm. I've been fortunate enough ever since moving to Texas to get really close with Joe as my buddy, and meeting you very early on and developing our friendship and relationship, and you being welcoming with myself and Taylor, whether we're going to food or inviting us over for the family dinner, as you call it. We all kind of have a dinner together, and it's and seeing the dynamic between you and Joe is something really cool to witness, because as much as Joe plays hard, you're his best friend, and he looks up to you a lot, and I can get that deeply just by the way he, whether it be talks about you, whether it's oh, my dad's calling, I gotta stop what I'm doing to talk to him, and is just I can tell he looks up to you a lot, and it's really cool to see. As my whole family dynamic was super strange as a kid, and then losing my dad and not having especially at this age, having a father figure or dad to talk to and hang out, and it's super cool to see how close you guys are at this age, and it's something that I really I aspire to have with my son, daughter, when I get that. So I just want to say I really love hanging out with you guys, because I loved seeing the dynamic. I know y'all talk shit to each other all the time, and that's just y'all's personality. But it's super cool to see, and I think y'all are a great example of a father-son duo that is something that I think people should can aspire to see, because the relationship y'all have is what I hope to have with my kid, and that's where I'm super excited, because I think when you're surrounded a lot by, whether it be broken homes or broken up families, or I don't get along with my brother or my sister or this, or I don't really see or talk to them, seeing at least what I've witnessed is really cool, because it's not something that I have, right? I don't go on the weekends I can't go see my mom on the weekends or something like that. So being close, it's just really cool to see.
Thank you.
Made me cry over here, dude.
I'm saying it. I admire it a lot, and I hope to have it one day.
I heard that a lot growing up, and I don't think I ever really appreciated it as much, because in my head I'm always like, this is just how it's supposed to be, and it wasn't until really in the last couple of years that I noticed that a lot of my friends and stuff don't have that. I mean, even I have friends that their dad lives 4 houses down from them, and they still just don't hang out, they don't talk, they don't. You know, I don't know. I guess I appreciate it more than anything now, but growing up, I never really appreciated as much like how close we were.
Yeah.
Because I just assumed that's how it's supposed to be. That's how it always is. I didn't really know, you know.
Well, like my mom and I are pretty close, and I'm sure she
Yeah.
would love it if I called her and texted her every single day, right? But I just while my mom and I have a fantastic relationship, and maybe it's just because I'm the son. Like I don't have the relationship with my mom like that, where it's every day I'm talking to her every single
Yeah.
day, and it's like, and seeing you guys, y'all talk every single day, right?
For the most part.
Yeah, whether it be, you know,
We work together, but sometimes
Yeah.
we don't actually see each other.
well,
usually
even
get
but
a-
for a long period of time, Joe didn't work at the cabinet shop or would do periodic things. He'd mention he's
Yeah.
going out to Rosenberg, but he was kind of doing his own thing. But it was, I mean, I could always tell as a third party that you were in his life on a large scale just by whether what he said or what he was going to do, or I can't do this, I'm going to dinner with my dad, or like he would never like bail out of something because he's like, oh no, like I'm getting, like it's Sunday's like family dinner with my dad.
I
Like
think
I
I've
can't
always
miss that.
given him his space. I think I appreciate who he is. And I never expected this to happen. You know, I've always wanted it to be this way, but you can't make things the way you want them. You just hope for the best.
Well,
I mean, I text you every single night.
yeah, I didn't want to
Listen,
say it. I was going to say because he told me about that, and I was like, that's really cool.
Yeah, I don't
Text him essentially good night every night.
Yeah,
like I think
pretty
it's really
much.
cool. And but so as well as with Taylor and her family, who is are really close, which I just haven't like. I don't like talking like my family is like so separated, but if I broke it all down, just my family dynamic is not like maybe y'all's or Taylor's. But Taylor is also someone who every day is talking to her mom, like every day, whether it be a phone call, text, any question she has is I'm gonna call my mom to ask her. I'm gonna call my mom to ask her. I'm gonna like, what do I do for this? She just has this relationship, which is like just really really cool. And I think a lot of it helps because you're like locational, you're physically close, like where you live, and then hopefully you have a good relationship when you also live really close, where everyone in my family's all split up. So I've learned that I don't know if it's just a Texas thing, but Christian and his parents just super close. Seeing like y'all, seeing Taylor, I think Texas just brings out the close family knit.
I grew up that way though a little bit. I mean,
Yeah.
my parents lived on the corner, 3 houses down. My grandparents lived 4 houses down. My aunt and uncle lived behind them. My other aunt and uncle lived, and we were all just always together. It was a nice part of my life.
That's what I want.
You know, I think it's good.
I think it's like, you know, like a lot of people like, oh, I either want what I didn't have, or I want to make sure that, you know, my kids can, you know, have the same, a better life. But so, because of how, not even dysfunctional, but because of how split up my family dynamic was over a large period of my life, something that because I didn't get to experience that, I'm excited to almost like relive that on the opposite side, like with my kids, where I'm like, I want to make sure that, you know, either just obviously have a healthy relationship with Taylor, but like I want us to be together. And when they go off, whether we go to college or whatever, I'm like, I'm going to be down for like, yeah, like you should live a couple of houses down. That'll be sick. Like,
Yeah, no.
because I want to.
Parents should never live a couple houses down. They should always live further away. I think it's good to have some space.
A couple miles away.
Yeah, I know you guys made it official. He's dating now, right? And there's another person in his life. So I start wondering about that and how's that going to interact. And you want to make sure you give him enough space. And we're fortunate enough to, like, you know, hey, calls, you want to go grab dinner or whatever, and we get to hang out a lot, which is great. But you know, as those dynamics change, other parents become involved, and how does that all work out? I start wondering about that stuff.
I'm going to say, no. Everyone hangs out with me.
Nah,
Come to
you
my
can't-
house every day.
Yeah, you can't do that, though, right? You got the holidays, you got this and that, and you know, you have to split it up a little bit. Things change.
I want to, one kind of final question here is, what was the first moment when like you and Joe started being like really close that he wanted to like do something that was maybe like, oh, I'm not going to spend this holiday with you that I always do because I'm going to go with somewhere else. Like, as a, like, do you ever have like these like traditions and like at some point the kid is like grown up and they're not doing this thing anymore that like maybe you cherish so close that is like normal that he'd be like, oh, I'm going to go do this with this person this time or something? Is there anything like that? I don't know if that's like a very specific question.
I don't know. Do you know of anything like that?
No.
I don't.
But because I'm not gonna greatest dad of all time sitting here, but as a younger child, he was working all the time.
Yeah.
So we really didn't have like I don't obviously I would see him, but like there were also nights where like I would go to bed before he got home from work, and I'd wake up and go to school, but when he'd already left. So there was a couple days at a time where I like really didn't interact with. So I think because of that, I obviously cherish this a lot more now. But also I don't think we didn't really have any like traditions as when I was a small child that then I grew out of.
Okay.
I think a lot of what we do now is like I wouldn't say we got super close until I was probably 13, 14. I think that's when
his mom and I separated when he was about 12 years old, 11, 12, and he ended up moving in with me. Mm-hmm. And that, I think, was a turning point for me. It just changed my whole life. I really didn't know what it was like to raise a kid, even though he was my second child. I just wasn't home. I was working 2 jobs. Cabinet company was starting up, doing all this stuff, and
it was a strategic move on my point, too. I didn't anticipate us becoming so close. I just thought he'd be working all the time so I could do whatever the fuck I wanted if I moved in with him.
Like Grand Theft Auto.
Kind of worked out for the first 3 years of that. I was just like out smoking weed with friends and shit. No one knew where I was.
When was the first time you caught Joe doing drugs?
It's amazing that he is who he is, because there's so much stupid shit he did. It was just police, this, that.
Bro, we used to, I'm incriminating myself here. We used to smoke weed in the attic at his house. But we were like right over his room. So he told me like not that long ago, he was like, yeah, we could smell it every fucking time. Like we knew, we just didn't. Yeah, me and like 2 friends would be upstairs smoking weed in the attic and like ashing the blunts into like the fucking asbestos shit. Probably terrible idea. I'm surprised we didn't burn the house down.
What would be the disciplinary action if you caught, when did you catch Joe like drinking or anything?
I wasn't super, I didn't really get into the discipline side of things. I just tried to explain things to him, and even though he's young, try to get him hopefully to figure it out.
Because of that, worked out. I was never the kid that was like, oh, I want to go get shit-faced every night, because I think being allowed to do whatever, I'm not going to say whatever, but I never got into that. I think you're worse off. I think if he had told me, don't ever touch drugs and discipline the shit out of me because he caught me with it, I think I would have been like the rebellious, like, I'm going to go do it. I'm just going to hide it from you. I think not thinking that I was going to get in a lot of trouble never made me like that addictive, I need to.
I've heard other parents say, you should beat the shit out of him, you shouldn't let him to do that. And it's like, I just always felt like I could explain myself to him and I would get across to him that way.
I think if I ever catch my kid like drinking before I want them to start drinking.
When do you want your kid to start drinking?
12.
13?
No, I'm 21.
Yeah, there you go. That's the right answer.
21.
There. Yeah.
But if I catch him at like 16 drinking or 15 or something, I'm going to go, you and I are going to sit down. I have this handle of vodka, and we are both going to drink all of it together.
And the idea that he gets sick and doesn't want to drink anymore?
Correct.
What if you get sick and don't want to drink anymore?
He's going to be like, Dad, you're a pussy.
Yeah, what if your kid outdrinks you, yeah?
It's like ripping shots and everything.
Yeah, I don't know about that
Taylor
one.
looks like a good lesson there, Dad.
Uh-huh.
Taylor says that I'm for the kids, that she's going to be like the bad cop, I'm going to be the good cop. She thinks she's going to be the disciplinary one, and then I'm just going to be like, yeah, it's okay, you can do it. Like, oh, you want to go to a party?
Yeah,
sure.
1,000,000%. Yeah.
I do think it's good to be on the same page, try to support each other on this stuff, because that can get ugly on you real fast, too.
Yeah, that's going to be a wild time when you're like, hey, mom or dad says I can't, but like, can you convince? Or is it kind of like whatever the other person had said, like that's the rule? And then maybe you have a conversation later of like, hey, next time, like maybe like I think they.
Well, that's what it's going to. Your wife's going to look at it one way. You're going to look at it another way. But you have to find that middle ground someplace.
Who's looking at it the right way though?
Yeah, who is?
Me all the time.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what'll get one of your arguments going right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, I don't get angry. Like I don't.
No,
like,
it's gonna be but see, like
she'll get angry
as a
at you.
guy, right? If my 10-year-old kid's like, "Hey, can I get the new Grand Theft Auto?" Like, I don't give a shit, go for it. But if Taylor's like, "No, that's not okay," like you're still in your head, like, why not?
No.
Why not?
I would lay down the long dick of the law in a video game because I go as I was 13.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Blowing
You
people's
feel
heads
very,
off.
I know. So you're gonna override that, but like that's one of those ones where it's like, I think it'll be hard. Same for me. Like I hated school. I don't think my kid's gonna be stupid because like if my kid's like, hey, I really don't like history class and that's why I have a C. I don't think my response is like, no, fuck you, study all night, you're getting an A. I think I'm like, oh, that's understandable.
I just don't really get like angry. Like literally the other day, I come home and like so we had Taylor's family over and there was like a warming pot thing that we had.
Crock pot?
Kind of, but it's had like a couple different trays and it was like on the counter. And I guess the heat from the bottom of it like actually kind of left like this yellow stain on the island. And she was like, I came home and she had all this stuff like cleaning it. And she was like, hey, I want to like tell you something. Like the plate thing I had out, like it like left a mark on the island. And I was just like, I looked at it and I see the discoloration, and I'm like, in my head, I'm processing like, okay, this is probably not going to. Yeah, I'm like, okay, how much is it? Like, okay, if I need to replace the whole countertop, like, how much is that going to cost if anyone ever says it? Like, that's what's going through my brain, right? And I'm just like, okay, like, yeah, it was, obviously it was no one's fault, like, whatever. But she was like, oh, I was so worried, like, you were going to, like, get so upset that, like, I did this. I was like, yeah, but I was like, hey, it wasn't your fault.
Because you're rich as fuck. If you were poor, if you were in a trailer home, you just got done watching the Eagles lose on your 8th beer, you're beating that. Yeah, all right, never mind. We're going the wrong way here.
Well, you don't have granite counters to worry about
either. Well, yeah. Your Formica. Formica?
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see as I get older of like anything that I truly get angry about.
I think it's going to be the kids. It's going to be like little fucking, what's your kid's name?
We'll call him Timmy for now.
Little Timmy wants to get the new, well, obviously not new anymore.
Grand Theft Auto is 17.
Yeah, well, wants to listen to Linkin Park. And Taylor's like, no, you're not listening to Linkin Park. You're only 9 years old. Like, you're going to be like, no, that's dumb. He's going to listen to Linkin Park.
No, I feel like certain things. I listen to Eminem.
I resent, to this day, I got the Meteora CD, Linkin Park, and my mom caught me with it in my room and threw it away. And to this day, I hold a grudge.
What age do you
think I love
kids...
my mom, but in the back of my head, every time I see her, I'm like, I threw away my Linkin Park
My grandma
CD.
told me I could get any CD I wanted for my birthday one time. Went to Walmart. And it turns out Walmart only sells non-parental advisory, but I got the Chingy album, edited. Hated it. Was like,
no,
goddamn
I had
grandma.
the real, I don't even think, that was one of those, like, Linkin Park didn't even really, like, cuss in their songs. It was just like, it was angry music, and it was going to corrupt my sweet little brain.
Do you think that violent video games make violent kids?
Could have an influence on them, I would think.
Bro, I had San Andreas when I was like 10 years old.
Yeah, that's true.
I was picking up hookers in the car, taking them back in the store.
Joe, what are you doing? I'm having sex with a hooker.
What do you want?
I was never big into video games. I never really got into it. I just didn't like it at all, to be honest with you.
But if Joe's like 13 years old and you come down and he's playing a video game of like...
He always wanted a video game. He's always coming home with another video game.
You gotta plan that out though, right? Like if you're playing Grand Theft Auto and your dad or your mom walks in your room, you just like follow the law for a little bit, right? Like anytime my mom would walk in, I was playing Grand Theft Auto, I'm like, oh no, it's a driving game, and I'd just be like driving around the city.
Look, I'm stopping at the stoplights.
Yeah.
He woke up one morning, he comes running into me, he says, do you know what day it is? Do you know what day it is, Dad? And I'm thinking,
Nudie Magazine Day.
I'm thinking, man, a kid knows it's my birthday, right? I'm thinking, this is incredible. Wow, I've done a great job, I said, what day is it, son? Grand Theft Auto 2 comes out or whatever. It's like,
It was Shaun White snowboarding.
Yeah, it's like,
I remember that.
Are you kidding me?
I felt so bad.
Like,
I didn't know. To be fair, and I don't know if this makes me a bad person, I know his birthday now because it's a code that has been used a couple times. But like, I don't know my sister or my mom's birthday off the top of my head. I could not tell. If you had a gun to my head, I don't know my mom's birthday.
Taylor gets really triggered that I don't know her phone number by heart.
Oh yeah, no, hell no.
And I'm like,
remember what?
Her phone number.
Oh.
But I don't know anyone's phone number.
I mean, that's nothing against my mom and my sister. I just don't know their birthday. Like everyone's like, you don't know your mom's birthday? It's like, no.
I literally have to tell Taylor like frequently that I go, Taylor, like I actually might have like memory loss like as a problem with me because a lot of the things I just like can't remember. And she's told me and I've listened and I've processed and I've remembered it before, but I'll just forget a lot of things.
Are you playing Diablo while she tells you these things? You're like, yeah, sure, got it.
What's the movie code? It's like, yeah, she was telling me a lot of stuff. I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention, but she was saying I don't listen or something.
One of the nicest things about being semi-successful is I've got this woman, Linda, who works for me, and she reminds me of everything. So she takes care of all of it. Which is wonderful.
That's basically...
Hey, today's this, today's that. It's like this.
I'll literally go, hey, Mona, is Dude's birthday on the... What day in November is Dude's birthday again specifically? And she's like, Jesus Christ, Max, this day. And I'm like, thank you.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't
have that yet. I just forget shit.
As long as like the memory is not forgotten by the whole world, as long as someone remembers it that I can remind me, that's fine.
With Apple Intelligence, it'll be able to start telling us stuff.
What's his birthday?
November 16th.
1342.
That's not right.
Well, Steve, I want to thank you for coming on this episode.
Wait a minute.
How
long has it been?
Like almost an hour and 40 minutes.
Oh, this is great because I heard if it only went an hour.
Oh yeah. He asked how long these are. I'm like, it sucks like an hour.
If you get over an
Ah.
hour, it's not bad, Dad. But if you hour or under,
yeah, no.
Never coming back on.
I would just delete. I would format the clips again.
Is that what you did last time?
No, I didn't.
I feel like David made you fucking format that. I feel like you're not telling me, but David was like, Max, please don't put that on the internet.
No.
I think that might have happened.
I goofed.
That might have happened.
So we went quite a while, and I really didn't even talk shit about you or you, to be honest with you. I just kept it nice.
Yeah, I was hoping you were going to come out swinging.
Steve, what is it about me that allowed you to bring me into the inner circle of inviting you over to family dinner?
Circle of trust.
You're a
I
good
brought
friend.
you in.
Were you like, listen, I know he seems fucking annoying, Dad.
No,
But he's I don't even know why I like him.
he's got some really good friends. Doesn't have a lot of friends.
True.
But some really good friends, and you're one of them. And Christian, and there's a few other people out there. You're just part of his core. And watching all you guys grow up and everything you've done, I couldn't ask for anything better. So again, I just support them. I mean, if you guys were losers or whatever,
You would tell us.
I would probably keep you sort of a distance,
Outside
Like,
the circle of trust.
Why don't you go play some video games?
Yeah. You could Grand Theft Auto or
Here's some
something.
money, go play.
All right, I'm gonna put Steve's socials down in the description. Go check out his YouTube channel.
Cabinet
but
King.
put some respect on this episode. Leave some nice comments.
Yeah, you guys got to be nice because he's not like we know not to read into the comments. Like I don't even read the fucking comments, but I guarantee you when this episode comes out, he's looking at every.
He's
fucking
gonna be
comment.
like he's gonna be like
Andy
in the
office.
fucking office. He's like
I'm not a butt licker.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Yeah, someone's gonna be like, "Oh, a tiny little cabinet shop." He was like, "It's actually." Yeah. And you might get some responses from Steve over here.
and also maybe you're in the text. Do you do cabinets outside of
Yeah,
Yeah.
worldwide?
Colorado. I mean, we'll do them anywhere. But
We're
United
wide.
States.
We're in Denver. We do quite a bit in Denver nowadays, but we've actually sent cabinets to Hawaii. And
What?
other parts of the
Aloha.
country. Yeah.
If you need any sort of cabinetry, Benedettini cabinetry, it'll be linked down below. Hey, if we can even get one person, you're doing the cabinets in my house, my future house. Do you think I'm building this house too big?
Yes. Yeah, I got a lot of. That's a whole nother episode. Yeah, you're doing a lot of things, but this is what you want, and you can afford it, and I say do it. But I do things differently. I told you, like I would, like a kid to me. I want the best for you.
What's wrong with the house?
I think you're building too much.
No, but I'm just the rooms that I'm in. Like before, I was like the movie room was like a 16 by 16.
This is how you know.
And I go, if we can push the house to make it a 20 by 20, so I can have a bigger
Yeah.
movie room. I'd
Maybe
rather.
22 by 22. Hey, you know
No,
what?
we couldn't. It
this is how you know Max is rich as fuck because when I
What?
met Max, you were living in a trap house, and now you're like, well, my movie room was only 16 by 16. I had to go 20 by 20,
can't
and the
get-
patio was only 15 feet deep. And I
I'm
needed
not gonna be able to
18 to fit my restoration hardware couch. So you're like, oh, my 8,000 square foot house, it's justified because
I really think it is.
okay,
I really think.
yeah, it's fine. Yeah,
I could have a whole episode of
yeah. If
why.
you had a 16-foot movie room,
Yeah.
might as well just fucking burn the house down. Start
Well,
over.
because for the game room, for like the
See?
pool table, I don't want the room to only have a pool table. I want to have some space for like a bar.
Yeah, you need that
Do
too.
you listen to yourself?
Yeah.
Really? I mean, the pool table.
But this
bar,
is going to be the house that I'm going to be in forever, Steve.
If
That's why I'm doing it. I'm not building a second house. This is the house.
it's not the house.
This
It
is the fucking
It is the
house.
house for the moment.
I'm literally building a laundry room upstairs for those three little shitheads that I'm going to have.
They're not doing their own laundry.
Can you even have kids? Do you
What?
know?
Well, unlike your son and everyone else in this Texas group, I'm a natural.
I'm natural
Even
now.
be natural.
No, you're a fake natty now.
No,
You're half natty.
It
No.
doesn't mean that you can have kids.
came out. I'm good.
Yeah, I guess why does like every like rapper that I see have like a one night stand and have like 16 kids, and I've believe it or not, but I've been having sex for years and
Really?
yeah, no kids. So either I'm
That's
really
why I want to go get tested because I'm like I'm either the luckiest man in the history of men or I'm shooting blanks.
I don't think you need to go get tested right away. I mean, enjoy.
No,
enjoy
no,
the
no, no.
artist,
You've
try.
seen some of
Joe's
the
just
shit I've
looking
done.
for a reason to masturbate.
I'm just like in the grand scheme of me world. I've done some things I'm not proud of. Never knocked anyone up.
Yeah, whatever. Guys, I literally have a call in 15 minutes
Yeah, I
with
gotta pee.
a large sports organization. Like one of the largest.
It is the Sugarland Skeeters.
No, we did have some meetings with them as well.
They changed their name.
Now they're the Space Cowboys.
Yeah, whoever came up with Sugarland Skeeters.
What are you doing with them? Selling candy?
No, not the Skeeters. No, this is the big leagues. The
Yeah.
big leagues.
It's Flint, Michigan Tropics.
What are you doing with
I don't know yet. That's what the call's on.
You don't even know what the call's about?
Well, they said, hey, we like what you're doing with sour strips. We have some ideas on like how we could help with sour strips.
Let me break this down for you guys. It's going to go one of two ways. Either, hey, we love sour strips. We want you to donate some strips to us. Or, we love sour strips. Give us $3 million and we'll put your logo on the back of something.
I would agree with you.
I don't know.
I'm gonna say the latter based on
I don't
who
know
it is.
which way I'm going to like better if it goes.
But they're going to want something from you.
What if I'll be the first company that go, you know what? You're such a cool company and a cool guy. We're just going to waive all the fees. We're going to bring you in and put the logo on the back of all the jerseys and everything.
That'd be wild for this organization, yeah.
You never know. Crazier things have happened. All right. That will wrap up this episode. Number 8. I think this is 89. Would have been 90.
Nice.
Almost to the 100. What are we going to do for 100? Joe
Wait,
will
so
be on every
90 is
single
my
one.
birthday?
90 is your birthday.
My birthday's next Friday.
God damn, Joe's going to be 35. All right. New episodes every Monday, 9 a.m. Eastern time, unless you don't get one, and I format the card. Thank you so much for tuning in. Leave a comment. Give us a 5-star review. Eat more sour strips. Ever forward.
Buy more cabinets.
Buy more cabinets.
There we go. Like that.
Peace.